You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
You know what you are? You're a popcorn salesman.
Worldwide Sports Radio presents the Home Stretch.
All right, let's hit the field.
With Tyler and friends.
Ho, ho, ho. Hello. Welcome to the Home Stretch. I'm your host, Tyler Harrison, along with my holly and jolly producer over there, the Grinch.
Nice.
Just kidding. Speedy Petey.
Hey, don't hate on the Grinch.
I didn't hate on the Grinch.
The Grinch is one of the most likable Christmas characters.
Yeah, right. The Grinch isn't here yet. But
No,
I'm just kidding.
No, the Grinch is great.
Yeah, no, the Grinch is fine. So I'm a little ticked off, and that's what we're going to start with. But neither here nor there. How you doing over there, Speedy?
All right. It's just waiting for this holiday season. It's come right upon us.
It has. Now, you're leaving tonight, or you're leaving
I'm
tomorrow?
leaving tomorrow morning.
He's leaving tomorrow morning. And where are you
All my
going?
brothers will be back. I'll be going to my house. And then my grandparents on both sides of the family, they're going to be coming up sometime next week. But all my brothers are coming back, I think.
Well, they're all coming here.
No, to my house in Connecticut.
Okay.
Yeah, so one's already there. I think the other one's coming back tonight. He goes to school in Boston. So he's coming back tonight, I believe, and I'm going there.
He probably has a shorter travel than you.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Are you taking the ferry?
Yeah.
Oh, then no. Never mind.
Yeah. He has I think he usually does a bus to New Haven and then gets on a train or something like that when he goes back, which generally takes 4 or 5 hours between the two, like transferring and stuff like that.
That's a long time. That's a very long time. So we got a lot to get to. This is the go-home edition of the Home Stretch before Christmas. So obviously I hope everyone that watches this show has a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season along with a Happy New Year. Rumor is I'll be here Thursday and Friday. I doubt it. But, whatever. I guess the facts will fall where they may. But let's just get into what we got going on today. So I might do the Playhouse for hockey. I don't really know. Probably not. But it is what it is. We'll finish Speedy's favorite segment.
Trade him now.
Yes. Got half of the American League and all of the National League to get done, so that's going to be interesting. We've got picks, and we have the NFL team, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot to get to, and he doesn't do anything. Blah 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 blah. So, all right, well, guess what? Piss off. Anyway, so we're going to start with something. Oh my God, what a game! Obviously, we're going to start with Around the World in Sports in about 2 seconds. But before that, we're going to start with the evolution of sports because it amazes me how everything changes, but nothing changes at the same time. So let that sink in for a second and just ask yourself this question. Are you really, truly unbiased? Ask yourself that now. I'll give you like 2 to 3 minutes to figure it out, and then I'll ask it again. Ready, set, go. Around the World in Sports starts now. Why this network has a bunch of shows on it that don't tell you the day in sports, I have no flipping clue. Let's go. Oh, there's college football and basketball.
Oh, bowl season.
Yes.
Oh. I thought those were all later tonight.
No, one game's actually over already.
Oh, wow.
We'll start with college basketball.
Yeah, I need to find the college football music.
No,
anyway.
it's fine. So Penn State is now ranked 23rd in the nation.
Yep.
They beat the crap out of I have no idea what this country is. The country is Central Connecticut.
Hey.
Yeah, Central Connecticut State University. They're 0-12. Yep.
Yeah.
87-58 Penn State.
A lot of people in my school made fun of them. The one state college, besides obviously UConn, that's D1, that's the only one, and they're always just horrible.
I didn't even know they existed.
Yep.
Speaking of I didn't know they existed, here we go. The Bahamas Bowl was on earlier today. Buffalo took on Charlotte. Yeah.
49ers? Is that what that is? Charlotte 49ers?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Buffalo won this football game quite handsomely, 31-9. Jarrett Patterson, a running back for Buffalo, ran for 173 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a good way to get yourself noticed going into the NFL draft. That's a pretty good stat right there. Right now, there is also a bowl game going on. Let's see if we can find the name of it for you. It's Kent State taking on Utah State. Kent State is currently up 17-10. I don't know. They're not.
I think it's. I want to say the First Responders or something like that. I don't think it's a company-based name.
Hashtag Aggies. Yeah, trying to find it. Oh, the Frisco Bowl game.
Frisco, huh?
That's the only one I've seen so far. So Kent State is leading 17-10 at the Frisco Bowl game. Then we'll go to the NBA because everyone loves the good old NBA, right? So we'll go there. Memphis is up 59-55 currently in the start of the third quarter, 59-55 over the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Indiana Pacers, I'm telling you, watch out for them. They're a good basketball team. Without Victor Oladipo, when he comes back, they're going to be very, very scary and deep. Watch out. They're up 68-57 over the Kings. Just be wary of that. The Boston Celtics are up 41-33 over the Detroit Pistons with about 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. 9 minutes to go in the second quarter of Washington and Toronto. Toronto's up 44-29. The Knicks and Heat have tipped off a short while ago, I don't know what I just tried to say. The Heat are up 12-6 over the Knicks. Luka Doncic is on the bench, but the Mavericks are taking on the 76ers, which should be a phenomenal game on ESPN. Sixers are currently trailing 3-2. The game literally just started about a minute ago. And speaking of games just starting, the Suns and Oklahoma State Thunder. 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. 15-12 Thunder over the Suns. In about an hour, the Timberwolves take on the Nuggets. The Orlando Magic will take on the Portland Trailblazers at 10. At 10:30, the Golden Stateless Warriors take on the New Orleans Pelicans in what is absolutely a phenomenal basketball game in the wings. And then there's hockey. Let's start with the Tri-State, I guess. The New York Rangers are tied at 3 with the Toronto Maple Leafs as Gergachev is in net against Frederick Anderson. They're both playing like garbage. I'm sorry, I take that back. Frederick Anderson's having a bad day, but Gergachev's actually playing pretty well. Who scored for the Maple Leafs and Rangers, you may ask? I'll tell you. Pierre Engvall, William Nylander, and Mitchell Marner. Not a single point from your boy John Tavares today so far, which is good. They have scored for the Maple Leafs, and for the Rangers, Brady Shea, Ryan Strome, and Pavel Buchnevich have put the puck in the net for the Rangers as they're being outshot 17-10 as usual. The New Jersey Devils are also in action against the Washington Capitals. Kyle Palmieri and Blake Coleman have scored for the Devils. And for the Capitals, stop me if you heard these names before, Alexander Ovechkin and Nicholas Backstrom have scored for the Capitals as that game's tied at 2. And, of course, here we go. Here's the blowout. The Florida Panthers are up 6-1 over the Dallas Stars. The lone goal for the Stars is Dennis Jernov, Johnny Hubbs, Anton Strawman, Vincent Trocheck, Colton Scavier, Noel Akari has scored twice. Those are the 6 goals for the Panthers. They're up 6-1. And later today, about actually 40 minutes, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, because he's just as good as Connor McDavid right now, take on the Pittsburgh Penguins and Evgeny Malkin and Matt Fleury. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Around the World in Sports. Brought to you by 150 Motor Parkway, Hog, New York. Don't know the zip. Don't really care. I couldn't ask Santa Claus for it. I don't know where it is. That's Around the World in Sports. And I go back to my original question. How many of you are biased? We all are. So if you answered no, you're a liar to yourself and probably the person sitting next to you. Now, for those of you going, I'm not biased, I go by stats, stats don't lie. Here's the interesting thing about stats, ladies and gentlemen. Stats are made to help prove your bias. Woo! Earth-shattering news, I know. So, today, I was completely blindsided by this guy who commented on YouTube, Facebook, whatever, which is great. I don't mind the comment. Trust me, I don't. As the Ranger game is on, that's beautiful. It's about time we had a Ranger game on in the network. Bunch of Islander fans that work here. It's ridiculous. But the guy goes in on how Aaron Boone is this, Aaron Boone is this, AJ Hinch cheats and does this, and it's amazing. So I got told
AJ Hinch did cheat.
No, not that. I could care less if AJ Hinch cheating. Still better than Aaron Boone. But I was told.
But would Aaron Boone cheating be better than AJ Hinch without cheating? That's the real question.
It'd be close.
That's the real question.
It'd be close. It's closer than what it is right now. But in all seriousness, this Aaron Boone thing's gone on too long. I'm sick of it. I really am. I'm sick of everything being taken out of context on this network, and I'm sick and tired of everyone telling me, you need facts, facts. Here's a fact, okay? You watch the games and you see what goes on, chances are there's no stat that says the manager's record is 158 or whatever the number is, but he really should be 55 and 102. There's no stat that says that. There's no stat that goes, the manager saved the team 16 times this season. There is no war for managers. You know why? Baseball managers are basically receptionists. They let's be honest here. Aaron Boone could be replaced by a monkey tomorrow, and the Yankees would win 98 games. It's not an insult to Aaron Boone. I'm not insulting Aaron Boone. The manager means jack shit now in Major League Baseball. It really doesn't mean anything. The game is so analytic-driven right now, it's almost nauseating to watch. It really is. Now, here's the thing about basketball, right? So basketball coaches are probably, and it's funny, Aaron Marks actually brought this up yesterday, but I will tailbone off this too. Basketball, I don't know what he said. I don't watch anyone else. I don't watch
football and hockey, the coaches matter the most. And then
Yes.
baseball and basketball, they don't matter at all.
Right. I would agree with that wholeheartedly. Baseball is the least. Basketball is probably third to least. Hockey's second most, and football's the scheme means everything. So what I mean by this isn't that, if you don't have Kevin Cash, or if you're even going to debate me that Kevin Cash is not as good as Aaron Boone, don't call this show. I don't want to hear from you. I really could care less if you watch my show ever again, because clearly you're insane. 1-877-909-9977 is the number to call. I just insulted half of you, so it's fine. But let's just be honest here. No one really has Martin Maldonado goes back to the Astros, which completely hurts Garrett Cole. But I am not. The stats show that David Robertson is a better reliever than Zach Britton. The opinion of every Yankee fan was Zach Britton's more dominant than David Robertson. David Robertson has a lower ERA, more strikeouts. What else do you want from him? That's literally what you want from a relief pitcher. But everyone kept telling me Zach Britton's the guy because he had one great season. Okay, that's fine.
He had more than one great season. He just had one near Cy Young season.
Right. So that to me is great. Okay? And that's the other thing.
For a reliever is insane.
Yeah. Dave Robertson also had a Cy Young type season, 2011. Look it up. So here's the thing that I'm kind of curious about here. How come when facts don't agree with people, opinion is the way they go, but when opinion is what you're always debating about, you need a fact? It doesn't make any sense. Now, the reason I brought up bias was because every single person I debate here, not here, about anything, it's always bias. Should Trump have been impeached? You are always going to answer that with bias. I hate Trump. He should have been impeached. Why? He's an asshole. All right, well, why? There's no answer. There's no anything. You know what your bias is? You don't like him or you like him. That's it. I'm not telling you to go right, left, down the middle. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm just telling you that everyone answers every question with bias. And this country does that more than anything I've ever seen in my life. Also, I'm sorry, I thought the phone was ringing. But I am not going to sit here and change how I talk about sports for anybody. Not anybody here, not anybody at home, not anything. I refuse to admit that I haven't held my own in a debate with or without a stat. I'll talk about opinions all day long, Jack. I don't really care. If that's not good enough, then so be it. I'll lose it.
FYI, since Zach Britton started being a closer, he does have better numbers than David Robertson.
But, okay, we've had this debate already. First of all, when Zach Britton became a closer, David Robertson was a closer for, I don't know, 2015 to
2014 and now.
No, he's not.
Or no, not a closer.
No.
But
Yeah, exactly. See, he was a closer for like 4 years.
okay.
And I'd say 2 of them were wasted
But
in Chicago.
I'm not even counting
But
saves,
Chicago
though.
was as bad as the White Sox. The White Sox were as bad as the Orioles are now.
Right, but I'm not even counting saves. I'm talking about more just key overall stats, whip, ERA, stuff like that.
He has a lower whip in his career, too. And he has more innings pitched. So you're not going to tell me that Zach Britton pitches more innings, his numbers are going to go down. They're going to go up.
Right. But
Right, so
this was those numbers are also rigged by them trying him as a starter and him failing, too, though, in the first couple of years of his career, too.
Dave Robertson had an ERA of 5 last year because he pitched 6 innings, and his rookie year his ERA was 5. So that probably cancels that out.
No, there's 3.
Oh, stop.
There's 3 years for Britton in the beginning of his career.
How many innings did Zach Britton throw in those 3 years? Dave Robertson
Over
has more
200,
innings.
Over 200. It looks
Those 3 years
like
combined?
250, it looks like, yeah, because he was a starter. They were trying him as a starter. Robertson had 30 and a third his rookie year.
I don't understand what you're saying. David Robertson has more innings pitched than Zach Britton.
Oh, I thought you meant in the years they struggled. Okay.
No. David Robertson has more
Yeah, because he's
innings.
played longer. I know that.
Okay, then. So why are we debating numbers if the numbers all favor David Robertson? Oh, by the way.
I said I'm talking about in the time where Zach Britton got good and
right.
starting at that time,
Peak years.
he's been better.
Peak years.
Sure.
So his peak years are better than David Robertson's peak years. What was that? Bias. He thinks Britton's better. I'm going to bring up the stats to prove my point. Here's 3 years, and that's all I need. Now, that's fine. I don't mind him doing that. I don't mind when people do that at all. It entertains me. It really does. I'm not saying I'm always right.
Oh, really?
No, I mean, listen, my win-loss is better than everyone else, so it's fine. You know, I took on a debate about Kobe LeBron that I ultimately lost, and that's a fact, but because you scored it that way. But do I still think I'd pick Kobe over LeBron? I'm not even going to think about it. I absolutely would. It's just my opinion. Now, there are certain opinions, like saying Dak Prescott's better than Tom Brady, or Zeke and Barry Sanders, or baseball defense doesn't matter, or that Todd Helton is a worse player than Andrew Jones. Listen, yeah, that's Gary Sheffield Jr. for you. Gary Sheffield Jr. told me that. But
Wow.
yeah. Listen, I'm not going to sit here. By the way, shout out to Gary Sheffield Jr. You're actually very, very insightful about baseball. Very insightful. And I'll listen to Gary Sheffield Jr. because it's in his DNA. So, by the way, your dad should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He should have been in already. It really just blows my mind that everyone's so nearsighted. And listen, sports is about just believing what you want to believe. It's not superheroes, but they're pretty damn close. Like, if I said Mike Trout is already a top 100 player in baseball all time, well, no, that's not true. Mike Trout has a higher WAR than half of the Hall of Fame. Well, that they played baseball. a different era. And why? And that's always, oh, well, you can't go into that because how are you ever going to find a stat that goes across every different generation of any sport? You can't.
Well, there's different phases of pitching arrows and hitting arrows, though, too. It's
The
not.
steroid era was a pure hitting era. So
Of course, right. So those kinds of numbers can be rigged a little more. It's different, though, than other sports because the baseball.
Well, any sport in general, like Jordan and LeBron, how many times are we going to have that debate? I think Jordan would chew him up and spit him out.
Right, and that's because of rules. Also, again, with football, it's because of the body types of these players. And then, obviously, their rules changed and stuff like that. So there's different factors to why that is. Baseball, when it first started, was very hitting prominent. It was speed prominent, and then it was pitching prominent, and then Babe Ruth came in. It was hitting prominent. Baseball, in terms of the patterns, really changes the most in terms of what's dominant in the league. Like, football was always defensive for the longest time until recently. Probably like the late 70s, early 80s. And then it became a little more quarterback-driven, but there was still good defense. And then basketball, kind of the same thing. It's really started off defensive and just really good teams or really good players dominated everybody because nobody was that athletic back then, with the exception of Wilt Chamberlain. And then they went into a defensive era, then obviously the bad boy era, the 90s, and now it's a very offensive era, and now it's a three-point era. So it changes a lot in terms of it. But baseball seems to switch off pattern a lot.
I understand. I'm just saying right now that there's not a stat you're going to tell me that can, like Crosby and Wayne Gretzky. A popular opinion is Wayne Gretzky would dominate Sidney Crosby. Do I argue that? No. Do I think it's closer than people think? Yes. But I do think Crosby would lose to Gretzky one-on-one if we had to play that way. But there's no stat I can throw at you that proves that.
Yeah, plus who gets what goalie, so...
Well, right. Exactly.
That's
And,
a weird
by the way, I've heard people say that Wayne Gretzky's not even the greatest hockey player on this network. Meanwhile, there's not a stat on the planet that you can say that backs that up.
Right.
So there's not a stat in the world that Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player of all time in. But yet that's the popular opinion. And there's not really a stat in the world that says LeBron's better than Kobe, but that's the popular opinion. There's not a stat in the world that doesn't say Tom Brady ain't the GOAT. Guess what? Everyone tries to deny it. Peyton Manning. Oh, well, Drew Brees is probably closer than Peyton Manning is. Johnny Football or Joe Montana. Who's another popular one? Staubach, Unitas, Favre, Elway. Mm-hmm. Take your pick. Brady has everything. By the way, you know what's absolutely hysterical? Here's a stat for you. You know who has the most touchdowns in NFL history?
Drew Brees.
Tom Brady.
Oh, if you want to include postseason?
Yeah, 611.
Well, he's also there more, too.
What? How many times? Oh, well, you can't penalize people for winning. Well, you can't penalize people for winning. Tom Brady plays more football for a reason.
I'm not saying that. It's the same thing we were discussing after we left that Tuesday show. What Drew Brees has done in a high-parity NFC is impressive.
Oh, no, absolutely.
If Tom Brady was in the NFC, he probably wouldn't have as many chances like that.
No, but his numbers would still be very close to what they are now.
Yeah, sure, of course.
I'm just saying that, listen,
I'm talking about the postseason, though. I don't know if he would make it as often.
Probably not. If he brought Belichick with him, probably. But if he had Sean Payton with him, he would probably do what Brees did. Nothing more, nothing less. By the way, Peyton Manning never had three of the worst defenses of all time. So I'm done with this conversation. But again, there's not a stat in the world that Peyton Manning's better at than Drew Brees is. Not a one. Not completion, not yards, not touchdowns, not win percentage. Nada. Nope, not a thing. They both have a very similar win-loss record. By the way, Brees got screwed twice, maybe even 3 times. Why would a division winner go on the road to Seattle? That's a screw job.
Because that's happened ever since the current scheduling format.
Right, and it's always benefited the team that shouldn't have a playoff win. It's all right. That and, the NFL screwed them. That's 9-6. Oh, by the way, Marcus Williams whiffed on a game-winning tackle. That's 10-5.
Yeah, but nobody blames Breeze for that.
No, but that affects his win-loss.
Okay.
That affects the win-loss. Oh, by the way, he was on a Chargers team that you call
The least clutch team in football.
which clearly wasn't him because he's led so many game-winning drives over his career. It's nauseating. There's just so many things. And again, we go back to, the opinion is Drew Brees and the numbers don't matter. Well, guess what? Numbers show Brees is better. And, by the way, opinion is he had less help.
Was Breeze the quarterback in the playoff game where the Chargers fumbled the winning interception?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Was Marty Schottenheimer the coach?
Probably.
Then, yes.
Yeah. Marlon McCree, who wasn't a bad safety, but just had a big blunder.
See what I mean? That's 11-4.
Least clutch team in football.
And then who knows? All I'm saying is the opinion and stats never go against each other. You look up stats to back up your opinion, and most likely your opinion is shaped by the stats you're reading. If you watch the game, it's completely different. Baseball, quick example. Everyone that doesn't watch baseball told me Jose Altuve is the best second baseman in baseball. I've seen him age. Not age. Age is a bad word. Speedy's here. He takes everything too literal. I've seen Altuve.
Aging like the Vikings defense, which is still very good, but okay.
Well, no, they started off pretty bad, but we'll ignore that. But what's a perfect word so you don't jump down my throat? He was less patient. He started to try for the home run ball a little too much, which affected his average. His home run total went up, but his speed is starting to come. He's still an amazingly quick second baseman, but he's starting to get hurt more and starting to slow down. Is his MVP years behind him? Probably not. But I saw him start to regress slightly. I'm not saying he went from an all-star to a bum. I'm just saying he went from the best second baseman in baseball to third? Maybe. Yeah, I think there's an argument for him to be third. Just saying that now. But Whit Merrifield, to me, was the best second baseman in baseball going into last season. Going into it. The man has a great eye at the plate, strikes out even less than Altuve, and is the best hitter on the worst team in baseball, and he is still able to hit 300 and score about 100 runs and lead the league in hits. Yeah, that stat I didn't say that stat going into last season because it didn't happen before. Because I watched the games, I made that opinion, and then guess what happened? I was right, and he backed it up. Will he be the best second baseman going into next year? I don't know. I have to look around and see who, is going to play second base more or less, or there's going to be some shifting. I still say he's going to be probably first, but I'm not going to tell you that now because I got to see a lot of things. It could be a guy that people told me was going to ride the bench. I don't know. I think DJ LeMahieu's definitely past Altuve, too. The best shortstop in baseball. For a year, it was Corey Seager. And I said, no, it's not Corey Seager. Trevor Story is better than Corey Seager. Then I got called all these names of four-letter words. An idiot and moron and this, that, and the other thing. Oh, by the way, who would you...
I think I bashed you more for saying Story was better than Lindor, I think is what it was.
I never said that.
I thought you did. All right.
I don't even think I was here on this network when we said that.
Okay.
I think me and Guido were still doing it in his basement, or whatever we were doing it in. But I'll tell you this right now: Mike Guido saw I was an idiot. He was going to take Corey Seager 10 out of 10 times. Ask him that question now, who'd take? If he still says Corey Seager, it proves that he's a doofus. But Trevor Story, most people are going to take. He's better defensively. He's proven to be a better hitter and better player, and he plays 100 games. Corey Seager's probably already regressed so much because of his injuries. So how long did that last? Nah. Now who's the best shortstop in baseball? Probably Lindor. Probably. My opinion on Francisco Lindor, he's probably the best shortstop in baseball. I will look at all the analytics and how I saw them play defense and how I think their offense has shaped them. And if he comes to the Yankees, that boost will be great. Apparently this weekend they're going to make a decision on Lindor. He's traded, I'll tell you that much. Whether it's the Padres, the Dodgers, the Reds, or the Yankees, we'll find out. I hope it doesn't go to the Yankees because that package is going to be huge. It's going to be absolutely huge. It'll be a huge mistake. Absolutely dreadful. The Yankees will regret trading for Francisco Lindor. Absolutely despicable. Why would you trade for... You kicked out Didi to move Gleyber to short because that's where you wanted him, and now you're going to do what? Put Gleyber back at second and put LeMahieu at first? Or put LeMahieu at third and play who at first? Mike Ford? Because Andujar is going to be in that trade. And Urshela. Again, opinions. It's all opinions. So do not comment saying that I'm crazy, this, that, and the other thing, just because you disagree with me. You don't see it that way, just like I don't see it your way, but is Aaron Boone a top 5 manager in baseball? No. Is he a top 5 manager in the American League? No. He's not even the best manager in his own division. You could argue he's third. I'm just saying there's no stats and bias will never go away. They're always going to be there. And just because you disagree with me doesn't mean I'm wrong. And just because I disagree doesn't you mean... Just because you disagree with me doesn't mean that I'm wrong. And just because I agree with you doesn't mean you're right. I mean, most likely I'm right, but I still have to give you the benefit of the doubt. Everyone says I'm crazy. Everyone says this all the time. I'll prove it to you right now. 2 years ago, I called the Stanley Cup Finals and the champion in August. Last year, I couldn't get a series right to save my life. So, I'm batting about 500. Last year, everyone in this state told me the New York Yankees were going to the World Series. Without a shadow of a doubt, they were betting their house on it, and I'm nuts for saying the Astros, and oh, well, what happened? The Yankees lost. Now, this year will be a different story, but I still don't see us as a World Series team right now. It's currently constructed, but we are definitely better.
How do you not see them as a World Series team?
Lack of depth.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You don't see the offensive depth contributing like it did last year, too?
Urshela is going to...
We agree on... Yeah, but
he's not going to do that again.
But he also probably won't play as much either.
I disagree.
Unless they do trade Andujar, but...
This is what I am predicting for the Yankees. I think Andujar is gone. I think Frazier's gone, too. I think they're going to either pull the trigger for Hader or Lindor, whoever's package is going to... Whoever says yes first. And here's the thing. Don't be fooled. There are 3 or 4 teams right now waiting around to make a massive trade. Red Sox, Indians, Brewers, and a surprise team. Yep.
Surprise team.
Well, the Yankees too, but they're not selling; they're buying. I think there'll be a sell that'll shock everybody's mind.
Sell them now.
Don't be surprised. But when we come back on the home stretch, Speedy's favorite segment.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
I manage the baseball team.
Little League?
Fantasy League.
We are back with the home stretch on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Hello, welcome back. I'm your host, Tyler Harrison, along with Speedy Petey. And while we were on break, one of my favorite people called the show. Hello. Say hello, Snugs.
Oh, my goodness. It's so great to be on with you, Tyler. I was thrilled with your opening monologue. It made so much sense. It was scary. And I'm glad you have brought reason and civility back to the network.
Thank you, buddy.
That oftentimes while we're listening to these calls, The bias runs rampant, as though it were almost Homer-esque, and this sort of faux reliance on analytics that does not always ring true. And so I really liked what you had to say, because you're right, we all do look through our own scope. It's impossible to step out of it. Objectivity is sort of a blissful goal that some of us have, but you can almost, there's lies, damned lies, in statistics. You can bend them any way you like. The only comment I would say to this that I think that we need to make sure that we have in play is sort of the insanity factor of the bias. So there have been assertions that I have heard on the air, such as Dak Prescott is going to win 3 Super Bowls, or
In a row.
that
In a row.
Elliott,
In a
well,
row.
in a row, of course. Or Ezekiel Elliott is better than Barry Sanders, or Garrett Cole is not worth the money.
Who
And
said that?
Those things, well, Mr. Marks mentioned last night that Garrett Cole wasn't worth the money. And I explained to him that it's his assertion was deeper in that it's ridiculous that a pitcher is making $324 million. And I explained to him that, in fact, it is not ridiculous, because if someone is willing and able to pay you, then that's what you're worth. Everyone cuts their own deal. So I just think that we have to couch the bias talk, because it's very easy for people to go, you're biased, and hide behind the bias cloud when they make these sort of assertions. But I think you do bring up a very good point that we, as sports fans, can easily sort of craft this idea how our favorite player, our favorite team, or who we believe is the best and why. And so I thought that was very wise, and I wanted to call and compliment you on it. I also wanted to say I do have a little objection to something you said.
Oh,
because
we very rarely
if
disagree.
if you say that someone's right, then they're right. Because if you get a coalition of the willing with Tyler Harrison on a sports take, that means you're probably right. It's very rare that you're off mark. So give yourself more credit.
I'm off
bro.
the marks?
Pat yourself on the back. What's that?
I'm off the marks.
Well, I think you're on the mark. I think you weren't just giving yourself. You're being too humble.
Oh. Well, a good piece of humble pie is always.
Well, it's okay to take a nibble on the edge once in a while, but again, it's all about what's reasonable, right? So I also wanted to comment on, you had brought up, again, the Peyton Manning-Drew Brees scenario. And I had a thought about this in between the previous takes and sort of the insanity that ensued briefly. Have we ever considered the fact that Drew Brees didn't get the media coverage that Peyton Manning got? And not based on the city, because I think we both agree that New Orleans and Indianapolis, or neither one of those are New York City or Boston or Los Angeles or San Francisco or some of the bigger ones.
I actually think you're
But
on to a very good point.
The fact that he had 4 or 5 other Hall of Famers around him at pretty much all times, or at least most of his career, right? Even when he went to Denver, he had several people who, maybe they're not quite Hall of
Not
Famers
Hall
yet,
of Famers,
they're
but talented.
close.
Demaryius Thomas was a talented receiver even with Tim Tebow.
super high talent, super high profile. And I think there was quite a bit of the time that Drew Brees was down there throwing touchdowns to, guys like Joe Horn. I don't know if he's really,
Well, Joe Horn was towards the end of his career then.
You got Robert Meacham, you got Lance Moore, you've got Ted Ginn Jr., who was given up on by half the league and became a special league specialist.
Devery Henderson.
Devery Henderson. The list goes on and on. By the way, he took a guy named Marcus Colston, drafted out of Hofstra, and made him a freaking Pro Bowler. So I'm not really.
Round pick.
Yeah, I'm not concerned. And I think you're actually on to something, because Peyton Manning, like John Elway, had hype about them because, there was speculation that Peyton Manning didn't want to go, and would he go number 1 if he was drafted, and he's the best quarterback rated since, Elway and everything like that. Oh, well, let's hype the kid up. So every number 1 pick consensus is going to get more hype than a guy that was taken in the second round. It's just how it goes.
Well, Drew Brees played at Purdue, and, he wasn't – he was good, but he wasn't particularly exciting.
Right. He was
Peyton Manning
systematic.
was lousy at Tennessee, but he played in the SEC. So Drew Brees didn't have a dad who was a good football player and a notorious NFL player, even though he really didn't do much with the Saints. But nonetheless,
Well, you can make the argument Archie Manning's probably the best quarterback out of the three.
Oh, Archie Manning is very talented, but he was on very bad teams. I think we'd all agree with that.
Right.
And so he sort of had a pedigree coming in. So right off the top, he was going to get more hype and more love because he's more of immediate. It's a much more interesting story. And so I think that as we go further down the line, the legend of Peyton Manning began to grow before Peyton Manning really did anything. He wasn't particularly exciting in his first couple of years in the NFL, and the Colts weren't particularly good. And so I think that Drew Brees he's sort of like the Mike Trout of football. Because you think about it, for a long time, Trout didn't get the love, right?
Right.
And
People
finally,
still don't
everyone
think of
had
him that
to
way.
acknowledge that he might be one of the 5 greatest baseball players of all time. It could be before it's all said and done.
Right.
The guy does everything. He's amazing, but he's sort of stuck in Anaheim, and even though
Second
it's a
team
big
in
market,
LA.
he's the second. Yeah, he's the second.
Like
fiddle
Pete
to
Alonso.
the
Everyone
Dodgers.
will forget about Pete Alonso in a few years because he is the second team in New York.
Yeah, I mean, if Pete Alonso jumps across town and hits 50 home runs for the Yankees, he'll end up in.
He becomes the
He'll
GOAT.
be in the
that-
Ring of Honor.
I don't
and
need that
all
thought,
kind of-
Snug.
What's that?
I don't need that thought.
Well, Speedy, as a Mets fan, you're used to taking that beating, bud. So
Yeah, but Pete Alonso would just
Pete-
walk away and turn his back just to go to the Yankees, and that'd be one of the big spite jobs if that ever happened.
it would be sad, but he does only have 1 year, and it's 52 home runs or 53 home runs. It's very exciting, but on the other hand, I mean, there's been a lot of guys. I remember a guy named Brady Anderson who hit 50 home runs 1 year, one time. So,
Right.
let it be 3 or 4 years before you get too excited.
That's
But
true.
I'm
Look
just
at Aaron
saying that
Judge. Aaron Judge dominated for a year, and he hasn't been healthy since.
Well, Aaron Judge is an awfully large gentleman to be playing baseball. So
Yes, he's a
I think
linebacker.
that- yeah, I think
He's
that
larger
might-
than that.
might-
He's 6'7", 282. He's essentially a defensive end.
Yeah, that's true. He's basically Myles Garrett with a bat in his hands.
Yeah, well,
And
I
he
mean,
actually is allowed to swing it.
Oh, good
sort
job.
of like Zion
Good job,
Williamson.
Speedy. No, apparently Zion might not play this year.
Yeah, well, Zion probably shouldn't be jumping around. He should probably be running into people as a defensive lineman or defensive end somewhere. But
Well,
I digress.
oh, that's fine. LeBron knew he would get his head clopped off if he was a wide receiver, so I understand.
Snug, by the way, we brought this up a couple of weeks ago on Errol's show. The Zion Williamson probably being hurt for the season is the new pinnacle of the Vinny Rubo curse.
Well, whatever happened to Mr. Rubo? He just sort of slinked away into whatever hole he lived in.
I don't know. He was busy over the summer, and I guess Errol got rid of him or something. I don't know.
I thought maybe Jeff and I heckled him too much.
No, the bread man.
Either that or the city of New York was mad at him for bringing Boston a World Series. I'm not sure.
No. The Mets just won't win until Wilpon goes away.
Well, it's sooner than later, so Mets fans have reason to rejoice, at least
Only
briefly,
5 more
anyway.
years. Only 5 more years.
Well, it's not final yet.
Well-
You might have more than 5 years.
Well, yeah, but
Are you just sticking are you just driving it in and turning the blade in Speedy?
That's what she said.
Speedy, tell us about your plans over the vacation.
What a
I'm
shot.
fascinated by this.
Sorry, that was an absolutely brilliant goal.
my what? Tell me, what
Your
did you
plans
want?
over the vacation, Speedy, I'm fascinated by them.
I don't know what the exact plans are, but I'm going to my house tomorrow with my family in Connecticut. All my brothers will be back too, and I'll probably be decorating a lot tomorrow. And over Christmas, we'll see what happens. We just celebrate it, and there'll be some crazy stories that come with it. If there's any crazy stories, Snug, I'll let you know.
That's nice. I imagine a Speedy family Christmas involves a lot of arguing over sports and throwing of mashed potatoes.
Throwing of mashed potatoes. No, it's not Animal House, unfortunately.
What about you, Tyler? Do you have big plans over the holidays?
Just stay home. Family will come over. I'll try to. I will actually probably be working all of next week, to be honest. But Christmas I'll be off, so that's always fun. But Christmas Eve, I'll go to my aunt's, my mom's sister, who's really the only relative on my mom's side left. So it's kind of bittersweet. But, yeah, other than that, I just have a regular holiday plan.
Nice. Well, there'll be plenty of bowl games. Meaningless, but nonetheless fun to watch sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
there are definitely a lot of good games, though. So
I feel bad for whoever got Bama.
that's Michigan.
Oh, boy. They're going to lose that game by 50.
Oof, Harbaugh might lose his job by 50.
No, Harbaugh's there till Harbaugh.
He's not going to
wants
lose his job over losing to Alabama.
Well, I think it could be icing on the cake after losing to Ohio State. Then you go get a. If you
That
get
was the
dressed down by
fastest 2
Alabama
goals
and
I've
lose
ever
by
seen a
50.
team score against the Rangers. Sorry, Snugs.
It's all good. It's Friday night. It's casual night.
Yeah, it's
Not too worried.
the defense of the year. You got anything special planned, Snugs?
No, actually, it's going to be real quiet. Probably have a cat fiesta, make my cats wear sombreros, and have some Mexican food. And I will wait by the mailbox for Mr. Earl Mark's gift because he's been promising me for. Earl's promised me for 2 or 3 years now, but
My
I
name
keep
is
the
Earl.
faith.
Earl's not the one delivering the gift, though, so you may have to deal with shipping fees or travel.
I like to
messed
think
up.
that Earl's going to bring the gift himself, but I know that he'll probably
That won't
employ
happen.
the United States Postal Service.
Yeah, that won't happen.
And, watching college football and probably betting on some of it foolishly, just sort of the wild wagering that goes on during the game.
Don't
That
bet with
doesn't
Jeff.
really matter. No. You usually just place those wagers online for $5 and a fun guess, and it makes the game slightly more entertaining. You're not looking to make your fortune. Who the hell knows who half these teams are, what they're going to do, or who's on the team.
Right.
But nonetheless, it's
Like the
it's
fact that I
entertaining.
just had to talk about Central Michigan in a bowl game is nauseating.
All the heavy money on Central Michigan, I'm sure.
That was the school of Antonio Brown, though.
I don't think they want to claim him right now.
They don't have much else, other choices.
I think they'd rather say you could be the best player we've ever had. I think that's their sticking point right now.
Still, what's the fallback option? There isn't much with that school.
I guarantee you they have somebody else.
They gotta have somebody.
Chattanooga or Central Chattanooga, whatever Terrell Owens came from, they can claim Terrell Owens. Like Terrell Owens,
No, I think that was Chattanooga.
he's the guy that makes you go, all right, fine, I understand. Until then, though, no sir.
Well, Terrell Owens is a Hall of Famer. Antonio Brown could have been a Hall of Famer. I don't know.
I
if he
will.
still is or not.
I will be honest about something, Snugs. I think Terrell Owens is the greatest wide receiver since Jerry Rice.
Oh, he's unbelievable.
I think he's.
I don't know why he
absolute-
doesn't get more love.
Because people were too sensitive to the fact that he wanted the ball more because, he wanted to win, so the ball in his hands normally meant that he won.
Terrell Owens did enjoy a good media circus and turned a bunch of people off. That's true.
Oh, wow. Actually, I didn't know this. Before he transferred to Wisconsin, Watt played tight end for Central Michigan
J.J. Watt is who Central Michigan will claim.
as their tight end. Tight end, J.J. Watt.
Does not even matter at all. He is going to be on the Mount Rushmore regardless of what happens.
Central Michigan will say they coached him up for Wisconsin.
Yeah. Yeah, you were a great defensive end in Wisconsin, but does Wisconsin know that you were a better tight end?
Oh, no. Here's
there's
here's
always
another
something.
one. Here's another one, too. Joe Staley.
Oh, Joe Staley. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer, I think.
I do, too.
I would say he's a Hall of Famer. But,
I didn't realize they had that much, but okay.
see, Speedy? You don't know, now you know. Because I told you so.
I'm just waiting for Speedy to go. It's great to know, but knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power, Snug. Get it right.
Why don't you wear your hat for Snugs?
You want,
I do love the hat.
You want me to wear the hat for you, Snooks?
The hat brings me great joy.
All right.
And the fact that it
I'll go
brings
get the
the
hats.
heckler less joy makes it even more joyful for me.
All right,
And for
Snugs.
some reason, the heckler doesn't seem to understand that the hat is not for style, but for function.
Woo!
Although if you did have one that was red, white, and green, that would be a little more festive, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, don't quite have the color coordination on point, but
We can
It's all
work
good.
on that for you. Maybe there'll be one in your stocking. Maybe your aunt will hear it or something.
well, if there's a hat of this kind with those colors, maybe, but I don't know. Has to go for the warmth first.
Absolutely. Function over style.
Yes.
Function never goes out of style, right?
Correct.
Hey, Speedy,
There you
you'll
go.
never guess who's my new friend on Facebook.
Did he go to Central Michigan?
No, he... He's actually a giant tight end.
Currently or
Was.
former?
Was former.
Jake Ballard.
No.
Will Tye.
No.
I'm going for completely random names. Is it more famous than that?
I think so.
Kevin Boss?
No.
Jeremy Shockey?
Nah, I love Jeremy Shaw. I like this guy, too. He was good.
I'm trying to remember who else.
He might still be playing.
I'm trying to remember who
Wow,
else.
his first friend was A.J. Feely.
AJ Feely, okay.
No, his first friend was A.J. Feely. This is going to be fun.
Oh, wow, okay. Wow, who else was there? Martellus Bennett?
No,
Because he only was there a year.
but he's still... Oh, he's not actually playing.
No, he's not playing right now, but I'm trying to go through Giants tight ends in my head. If it was the tight end before Shockey, I'm not going to remember it.
Daniel Fells.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think he was only there a year, too. All right.
Yeah. I love this Facebook thing. Anyway,
Big time.
big time. I'm trying, man. Scott Sizemore. Yeah. You remember Scott Sizemore?
Yes. Sounds
Facebook.
familiar.
Who else did I just add on Facebook? I was like, God damn, that's surprising. Hold on. Let's do this. I
The
told you.
bees?
No. Well, yeah, but no.
You got to get Miami Heat. That's who you really need.
Who's Miami Heat?
Miami Heat hasn't called this phone yet. He hasn't called since we moved.
Miami Heat is the caller that made the heckler famous. He's the one who coined the term Earl. Ask
Is-
Speedy about it. He would scream Earl over and over and over.
Earl?
He got
Then he would-
so mad he would mispronounce his name. And he would always claim it was because of his accent that it sounded like that.
Then he would make stupid bets, and he always lost.
Who,
And he had
Miami
to make-
Heat or Errol?
Miami Heat, and then he would just make insane bets. I mean, he'd make stupid things like, the Miami, Dolphins are going to beat the Patriots by 10 touchdowns or something stupid like that. And then he would lose, and then he would have to make some statement that Earl would make up, and then he would have to read it on the air, but I don't know, he didn't seem to be that great at reading. So it would always sort of come out
Ooh.
sideways.
Here's
Miami
some breaking
Heat was
news.
a classic caller.
Michael Thomas is now in the 99 club.
Wow, okay. He has had that great of a season.
Yeah, good for him.
I think so. All right. Dear Snugs, I love that you called, buddy. I hope I hope you do have a happy holiday season. Me and Speedy do got to get through a couple things real quick, and hopefully we'll hear from you either later tonight or I don't know when I come back Thursday. Hopefully.
Sounds good. Thank you for the time, gentlemen. I appreciate it.
Oh, anytime,
Please continue
Snugs.
to bring your calming and soothing and wise and sage advice and
Always.
reason to the network. It is needed. You are the thin line between us and insanity.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you have a bunch of Cowboy fans and Jet fans on here. It gets pretty lonely at night.
Have a fine evening, gentlemen.
Happy holidays.
He is, he makes me feel smarter than I already do. How scary is that?
What is it? When I think of that, I'm like triggering that meme, with the brain, and it's just like everything, it just goes full. Is that what it feels like?
It feels like, what's a good word? It feels like an avalanche, and the ball just continues to get bigger and bigger as everything goes on. And then when he calls, it's like an atom blowing up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how it feels. I just asked this question to everyone on the network. Has anyone sent a shirt to this network that ever quotes anyone saying that they're always right? I don't think so. Oh, wait, no, it happened to me. That's right. It says I'm always right. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did that. Right. But that's not bias. That's fact. That's fact. All right, Speedy.
All right.
And the next hour, we need to squeeze in a break somewhere. Do your favorite segment, which we're going to do right now. That's called
Trade Him Now.
Picks and what else did I say? The NFL 100 team. All right, Speedy, you're up.
Trade Him Now. All right, so we got through 7 American League teams yesterday. We did the Red Sox, Blue Jays. Let's see, we didn't do Twins. Indians, White Sox, Angels, Athletics, Rangers. That's what we did. All right, so let's go. We have to get the bottom teams out of the way at some point, so we'll do that now. Let's go to the Detroit Tigers.
Everybody. Every last single person. You know what? Jordan Zimmerman, you're stuck with.
Yeah.
Michael Fulmer. I'm going to say Michael Fulmer. I think Matthew Boyd is good enough to be an ace for you. I also think Michael Fulmer, coming off an injury, could kind of cheapen what he is. But he's still got enough upside. He is 26 years old. He's going to be cheap. And you really need an infusion of talent. You don't really need youth. You need talent. So I am going to say Detroit. And it's not even like your young kids are any good. You look like you're going to be the Miami Marlins of the American League. So I would trade Michael Fulmer and get maybe a average starter at some position and just kind of, I don't know, try to work it out. Maybe Atlanta has a prospect they can give up that's going to work out, or San Diego or something. I don't know, but you need to trade Michael Fulmer and try to get something for him.
All right. A team that trades often, the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, now they're tricky because they nail all of this, so it's going to be hard. Obviously, this offseason's a prime example of why they're always kind of not in the playoff hunt, but they're never really bad. They haven't been bad in about 12 years. They are a very interesting team because they know they can't keep anyone that's going to make mega bucks. Although I am disappointed they let Garcia walk to the Brewers for that cheap of a contract, but they generally know what they're doing. There's no one on this team that you're going to look at immediately and go, that's the guy. They already did that with Tommy Pham. Actually, didn't I say to explore trading Tommy Pham at some point during the offseason? And you were like, it makes sense because they don't.
I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't remember ever saying it made sense to trade Tommy Pham.
Okay, then.
But it's not. I don't think it was a bad thing to trade him. I didn't.
No, I think they won the trade.
Okay.
I'm going to give a very boring answer right now. I don't think they should do anything.
Nate Lowe, maybe. Nick Lowe.
No, it's Nate.
Oh, it is Nate Lowe?
It is Nate Lowe.
Okay.
Nate and Brandon. That's going to get confusing for one. I don't think you really trade much. Honestly, you're not going to trade anybody now, but in July, if you realize the Red Sox are revamped and the Yankees are running away with the division, Charlie Morton's a good piece to trade in July. I wouldn't trade him now. I would hold on to him, but trading Charlie Morton at the trade deadline could bring you a very good package back. Your rotation's going to be that rotation. I think will be the best in the American League East next year. I'll tell you that much. That's going to be a very good rotation, in my opinion. Very good rotation.
All right, back to teams at the bottom. I think you'll like this one, the Kansas City Royals.
I don't even have to open the dialogue for this. This is a complete. You don't have a pitcher. Ian Kennedy, actually, as a reliever, could probably get you a value, maybe a middle-tier prospect, but the answer is Soler's young. You're keeping him. He hit 50 home runs last year. No one talks about it. Alex Gordon has no value if he's even on the team. I don't know if they've even brought him back yet. Hunter Dozier you're building with, and everyone else you're building with. Whit Merrifield is in his mid-30s, and he's the best second baseman in baseball. He's going to get you a value, and he's versatile. He can lead off. He can hit third. He can hit fifth. He can hit anywhere. He's got average to above average power. Phenomenal contact hitter. 5-tool player. All-star. Impacts the game. If the Dodgers whiff on Lindor, he will end up in L.A.
I can see that. So.
And that's going to be scary. I think he's a perfect fit for the Dodgers. Yankees! But you know what? We can't always get what we want.
He is the epitome and, in most cases, better version of every Dodgers infielder imaginable.
No, God. I would even trade Seager for him straight up. It wouldn't even matter to me. But, yeah, I think Corey Seager, I think the Dodgers make a ton of sense for Whit Merrifield. I think every team in baseball makes a ton of sense for Whit Merrifield. If he goes to the Red Sox, I'm going to be one pissed off son of a gun, I'll tell you that much. I'll be so mad.
All right, back to the West. Let's go to the Astros.
Yeah, so here we go, right? This is going to be a little... Let me just make sure here that they are going to... Yep.
What's the market for their center field camera? That's the first thing.
A lot.
A lot? A lot. Could they get could they get an A-level prospect back for the center field camera?
A+.
Oh, wow.
I've got 2. Now, I've actually got 3. Carlos Correa has already been reported to be traded or on the trade market. So
Trade him now.
He doesn't count. I'm not even going to give myself credit for that because I said that like 2 years ago and everyone said I was nuts. But I've got 2. The first one's George Springer. I think that he is a definitively top 10. You could probably argue top 5 outfielder in baseball. No flaw in his game. Great, quiet. You're going to have to pay him, and you're cash strapped. So George Springer is the unpopular number 1. The more realistic and probably the way you will and should go is Justin Verlander. I think you need to trade him sooner than later.
Really?
Yeah, I think that losing Garrett Cole kind of brings you back to the rest of the West. And I think that now that you're back with the rest of the West, I think the Oakland A's will win the division as currently constructed. Okay, if the A's go out there and trade for Clayton Kershaw and they give up nothing to do so, I'll change my mind. Currently constructed, the Oakland A's, I think, will win the division. I think you'll be lucky to get in the wild card. I do. I think that you are no longer a playoff team. And honestly, Verlander's got... How old is Verlander? 35?
I think he's 35, yeah.
Maybe 36. I'm not good at math, but he's only going to be a Cy Young contender for so long. Trading him now, you're selling high. You will probably get back more than what you gave up for him originally. And you still have Forrest Whitley in the works. Remember that guy? So, you can either go a couple different ways. You can get a couple of impact players, or you can get a really high-level prospect that people go, oh, well, they're not going to be good for 2 or 3 years, but boy, oh boy, when that kid gets called up, they're going to take off again. I like it. I like it a lot. I think Justin Verlander is the unpopular way to go, but That's what I would do. I would explore it.
Whitley did have a rough minor league season, though.
Well, Kyle Tucker was on the playoff team, and no one really
Tucker didn't have a rough minor league season.
No, I get it. But, again, Forrest Whitley was, what, a third-ranked prospect in baseball?
I think he was as high as 9. I don't know if he was any higher. All right, so that was that.
Oh, he might have been the third pitcher.
Okay, maybe. Yeah, that sounds more realistic. All right, let's go back to this. No, we did the Central twice. Let's go back to the East. Another bottom feeder, the Baltimore Orioles.
I think this one's pretty easy. You're stuck with Chris Davis and Mark Trumbo if he's still there. Let's just double check that Trumbo's still here. No, he's gone. Is that right? Oh wow, you got rid of Mark Trumbo. That's good. But yeah, you're stuck with Chris Davis. Now here's the thing, right? Oh, they did sign Alex Cobb. Oh, he was awful last year. That's right.
Yeah, they signed Alex Cobb.
All right, so you can either trade Michael Gibbons, which isn't going to change your franchise at all, but if I really wanted to get a couple prospects back or a guy that could play for me, you got to get a vibe for where Trey Mancini's thinking. If he wants to play for you for the next 10 years, sign him now. Don't go through what you went through with Manny Machado and let him hit free agency and, oh, well, I'm out of here. Now you got to sell low on the Dodgers and get nothing back. You need to ensure Trey Mancini is part of the future. If you don't get that vibe, you trade him. Trade him now. Trade him tomorrow.
Trade him now!
Trade him as soon as possible because I got to be honest with you. Trey Mancini walks, that's the second time you've blundered a free agent, and it's going to set you back. You need to get a vibe for Trey Mancini. He's the best player on your team by far. By far. It's not even close. He needs to be either part of your rebuilding process, or if you don't get the vibe that he wants to stay around that long, you need to cut ties with him.
All right, from one bottom feeder to another, the Seattle Mariners.
This one's another easy one. Just let's see if Felix Hernandez is still unemployed, by the way. Oh, Carl Edwards is there.
Oh, that I didn't know. Okay.
He's not the answer. The answer is...
I like Carl Edwards.
No, I do too, but I keep him. All right, there's two guys you could go with here. I think one's going to be easier to trade than the other. All right. Due to the fact that third base right now is kind of open for business, I think Kyle Seager could get you a little bit more than Mitch Haniger, and plus I like Mitch Haniger more, so I'd want to hold on to him.
Mitch Haniger's still very young, too.
Yeah, I like
24.
Haniger. I like him a lot. Kyle Seager hasn't wowed me at all. He had like a good half a season that made people go, oh, wow, all right. But no, him or D.
Yeah,
Gordon.
he had a couple good years, but it's been...
Good, not great.
Right.
D. Gordon is going to get you something back. Kyle Seager will get you a little bit more. You need pitching. You need pitching in the worst way possible. Go trade Kyle Seager and start your rebuilding process the right way.
All right.
Wow, sorry, I have the hiccups.
All right, two more in the American League. Your favorite analytic team, the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, again, opinion. I thought they'd win the division. Fact, they won the division. I got one for you. I think it's going to be a little unorthodox, but I think you're going to think I'm nuts.
Oh, boy. Is this more nuts than the Astros trading Justin Verlander?
No. Not to me.
All right.
The Minnesota Twins, though, I think Miguel Sanu is the answer. I do believe it's not because of his talent. It's not because people think he's a headache or anything like that. I think that he is a phenomenal hitter, terrible defender. I think him grounding an average ground ball is fantastic.
He makes Andujar look good on defense.
I wouldn't go that far, but he and Andujar are probably on the same defensive spectrum. Right. He's a very streaky hitter, and you're a good team. You don't really need a bat of that magnitude. I would get more of a well-rounded player, if you know what I mean. Maybe the average is up, but you lose 10, 15 home runs.
They had enough home runs last year. They had 8 guys.
Yeah, they led the league in home runs.
Yeah, they had 8 guys who had 20 home runs. So. Obviously Sano was one of them, but
No, you could sacrifice 15 home runs if you hit 312 or whatever it was.
right. Especially if you get like a pitcher back or
Yeah,
bullpen
pitcher
help.
or the bullpen depth or something like that. I actually think Dylan Betances going to Minnesota could be a steal. He's going to go to Philly because Joe Girardi's already recruiting Yankees. AA, David Robertson, who's been there, but don't be fooled. They love each other. They like each other a lot. I'm just saying, Sanu's a big name. He's young. He's controllable. The power bat is becoming the rage in Major League Baseball. So, yeah, that's that.
All right. Last but not least for the American League, the New York Yankees.
Aaron Hicks is my immediate answer.
You're not going to get much for him now.
No, his value's nothing.
You might have to wait till next offseason for that, depending on how well he plays in a small sample when he comes back.
He might not come back. 10 months is what?
It's, I think, September, early September, or maybe if it's fast enough, August maybe.
And the problem with him having Tommy John is because his strength is defense. That could affect something.
Possibly.
Yeah,
I mean,
three
he
unanswered goals.
Right, he already has strong arm strength anyway, so I don't think it would get rid of his range, but
No, not his range, but his throwing ability is. I don't know. I don't remember if it's his throwing arm or his other arm, but I remember it's his throwing arm. But Hicks is my immediate answer. There's a couple different ways we could go here. Gary Sanchez is a name that people keep throwing around. Twitter swears that they should trade Giancarlo Stanton. I don't know why people think this.
That market's already exclusive enough.
Yeah,
the teams that he originally wanted to go to, I mean, the Dodgers can't take on that money anymore. Then you got the Astros, which they can't pay him, and the Cubs, who I don't know if they could pay him either. Those are the other teams.
All I know is I cannot possibly think of. I just can't do it. But oh wow! Actually, somebody came to my defense on Twitter. I'm gonna follow him right now.
Hey,
hey, buddy, good job.
There is another Yankees fan that hates Aaron Boone.
No, not even that. Gary Sheffield Jr. was asking. He shared somebody's ballot, but I said Andrew Jones over Todd Helton is brutal. He asked me how. I said Helton's a better hitter and didn't really do steroids to do so. And then this guy responded. Helton hit 316. Jones hit 253 for 3 years for their careers. Sorry, Helton and Jones were not similar hitters. Jones had more pop, but Helton was a dramatically better player at the plate. And Helton was a generationally great defender, too. So I'm not really all enamored with the fact of, Andrew Jones was a better defender than Todd Helton. But Todd Helton was a very good defensive first baseman. So thank you, good sir, for that. I appreciate that. I followed you. Hopefully you follow me back. If not, I could give a rip less.
All right, we're going to the National League.
We'll save the National League. Yeah, we'll save the National League. I got to do picks. I have to do picks. So now is actually the time we'll squeeze in the break because I'm thirsty and the iced tea's all the way over there. And we hate dead air here, so we absolutely hate dead air as I'm about to give them 5 seconds right now. Ready, set, go. 5, 4. 5 seconds. But when we come back, me and Speedy pick week 16 of the NFL season. No Thursday night games, but there's a bunch of games tomorrow. Find out who wins next on the home stretch.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
I manage a baseball team.
Little League?
Fantasy League.
We are back with the home stretch on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Welcome back into the home stretch. Speedy Petey here with Tyler Harrison. It is time now for our Week 16 NFL picks. A lot of huge games this week with playoff implications. 3 Saturday games as well. No Thursday games, but 3 Saturday games. And we will start with those. Here we go. Houston Texans taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
You can go first.
All right. I'm going to take the Texans pretty big here in a blowout. I think having no Mike Evans and no Chris Godwin is really going to hurt that offense a lot for the Buccaneers. Tampa could have won this game with those guys because the Texans secondary is not great, but if Brashad Perriman's your number one receiver, it's going to be tough to trust. If Brashad Perriman's done a nice job in Arians' offense.
Oh, he was great last week.
He has been pretty good all season, and he's done a nice job rebirthing him. We saw that with the Cardinals, him taking a lot of speed-type receivers, deep threat-type receivers, and he's done well with them, but after that, they really don't have much, and him being a number one receiver, I don't know if I can really trust it. They don't really have the run game to help out, and then outside rushers against a running quarterback, usually that benefits, so I think the defense will create some short fields for the Texans. I think DeAndre Hopkins and Deshaun Watson will do their thing. And I think the tight ends play well in this game, too. He likes to spread them around to the tight ends, both with Fells and with Jordan Akins. So I think you'll see a lot of that in this game. Bucs will keep it close, and I think the Texans will run away with it in the second half. 30-14 Houston.
I was going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I didn't know Godwin was out at all, actually. And O.J. Howard's regressed significantly. But I actually think that this is going to be the game where Bill O'Brien kind of goes, we're a team to mess with in the playoffs. I think Houston wins this game bigger than that. I'm going to say 30-7.
All right, huge. Buffalo Bills travel to Foxborough to take on the New England Patriots. The first meeting was 16-10, and I think it will be very similarly low scoring. Still, these defenses have continued to play well. Buffalo, a little more recently, has played better, but the Patriots are still playing very strong. Again, being the game in Foxborough, I'm still going to take the Patriots here. It's going to be a lot of pressure, obviously, both ways, because, again, Buffalo's played like underdogs all year, so it wouldn't surprise me if they do win this game. And I don't know what the spread is, but if it's a large spread, I might pick them to cover, but I'm still going to take the Patriots to win this game, and I actually think finally you're going to see somebody like Sony Michel play well, or one of the running backs play well, because Buffalo's really going to do a good job stopping the pass like they did in the first meeting, and I think Bill Belichick gets the edge that way. John Brown is a smaller receiver that I think the Patriots could take out with the double teams that they like to do, and while I think Cole Beasley could play well out of the slot, that's really all I could see. So I'll take New England pretty close, 20-16.
Blowout. Patriots blow them out. You got people doubting them, and they're at home, and they remember what people were saying when they went into Buffalo. Oh, you shouldn't have won that football game. And the Patriots are also playing for home field. Don't forget, they have to compete and they have to win to not only get the bye, and the second spot, they're trying to pass Baltimore. Tom Brady's pissed off, and that's not good. New England, 34-14 over the Buffalo Bills.
All right, last of the Saturday games, the LA Rams, in any slim chance they have left, taking on the San Francisco 49ers. And that slim chance will become 0 after this. I'm taking San Francisco. I think it'll be actually kind of a different kind of game than the first meeting. The first meeting was very low scoring, a lot of sacks both ways. This one I think will be more high scoring. The Rams' offensive line has been a little better recently with their rookies that they have, especially on the inside, have played a lot better. So I think they can protect Jared Goff much more. The problem is the pass defense, the secondary as a whole for the 49ers is also still grown too. So I think that'll end up making a difference. The Rams have had injuries with their receiving position a lot this year, and as a result, with the exception of Woods, those guys have really struggled in the second half too. So I think that'll end up making a difference. And the Niners just have too many running backs to match up against a team that really doesn't guard running backs well and doesn't guard tight ends well, and that's where you have George Kittle to come in and do the rest too. So San Francisco wins semi-big here, 31-20.
I agree. I think that San Francisco, again, they have to kind of, I don't want to say war off the Saints, but there's a very interesting battle going on in the NFC. Just so everyone recaps, Baltimore is up. Baltimore right now is 12-2. The Patriots are 11-3. Kansas City has to win out and have the Patriots lose both games. Or actually, no, I think they get the tiebreaker, right? So Kansas City's
Patriots
10-4.
have the tiebreaker, yes, based on the common games.
The NFC goes as follows. Seattle, Green Bay, and New Orleans are all 11-3. The first wild card team is San Francisco at 11-3, and Vikings are at 10-4. All these teams are playing not only for their division, they're playing for the bye and home field advantage throughout. So this weekend will be absolutely huge. Dallas and Philly will play this weekend. We're going to get to that game, but that's going to ultimately be the game that decide who's in, who's out. But San Francisco wins this football game. I'm going to say 34-24 over the Rams. You couldn't stop Tony Ballard. How are you going to stop these guys?
All right, first of the 1 o'clock games, another big one. The New Orleans Saints taking on the Tennessee Titans. I warned you about this being a potential problem with the injuries that they had to the defensive line, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the Titans because of that. I think they're going to be able to control the clock, really. Saints with no Rankins, no Davenport. That's going to make it a lot harder, and I think you're going to see a lot of double teams or even a lot of Taylor Lewan against Cameron Jordan, which could be a tough matchup for them. And if the Saints have to blitz more often, then you got the middle of the field, and the secondary depth for the Saints has still been an issue, and the Titans receivers have played better. Ryan Tannehill's played better, obviously.
I think he's the best quarterback in football since he started over there.
Yeah, so I think
he's won in every
and I
stat.
think those receivers, whichever one won't be taken out by Lattimore, whoever those receivers will be, I think will strive as a result if they have to blitz more. And if not, I think it'll be Derrick Henry, and even Deion Lewis I think could play well as a pass-catching back too. I think this is a tough matchup without those guys up front for this run defense, especially with the size of Derrick Henry. And I think it'll help him control the clock. The other concern I have with the Saints too is, which are we going to finally see the Alvin Kamara we're supposed to see? That's the matchup that they should expose in this game, but I just don't know if I could trust it. He really hasn't been the same, and I don't know why. You would think he could strive more, especially in the time that Breeze was out. But ever since Breeze came back, he really hasn't played well, so it's kind of weird. And that's the matchup they should expose. So the Titans don't have great outside linebackers in coverage, or with the exception of Byard, safeties. But even Byard's more of his own coverage guy, so that's kind of weird. So I'm going to take the Titans in this game. I'm going to take the upset, 27-23.
I'm taking New Orleans here. I think that you're going to see Drew Brees. He's not going to do what he did on Monday night. I'm not saying that. But I think what you saw Monday night was a team click. The Colts defense is very similar to this team's.
Really? You think so?
On talent level?
The Titans have a lot more talent, and even schematically,
In the
I think
front
it's very
seven.
different.
All right, maybe not. But no, you're right. The Titans are a better defensive team as far as talent goes. But the Titans, and I've said this all year long, the Titans are a 1 week playoff team. The next week they don't. They win games they should lose, and they lose games they should win. This is a must-win for the Titans. A must-win. You're not in the playoffs. Pittsburgh is. New Orleans needs this to win home field. I think they get it. I think that they're a better suited team for the situation that both teams are in right now. The leadership is there. Ryan Tannehill's never been in this spot before. I'm going to say New Orleans wins this football game. Michael Thomas, good luck. Good luck, whoever it is. No Adoree Jackson, no Malcolm Butler. Logan Ryan's been great this year, but no one stopped Michael Thomas all season long. Drew Brees finds his guy, and here's another matchup you're not talking about. Jared Cook might go off, too. I like the matchup for the Saints tight ends in this one. Saints win 31-17 over the Titans.
Alrighty, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the New York Jets. I picked an upset for the Titans. I'm going to pick an upset here. I'm going to take the New York Jets to win this game. There's a lot of factors to this, one of which is their run defense is still very strong. They're still second in the league. They were, again, exposed a little bit against the Ravens, but the Ravens can run on pretty much anyone, and we've seen that all year. That's really the only blip they've had lately. The Jets' run defense has been phenomenal. Their pass defense has still been an issue, but the Steelers' receivers really don't scare me right now. You got fast guys with Deontay Johnson and James Washington, but there have also been guys who have had drop problems too. So I don't think that's really going to be as much of a mismatch as people think. The Jets, they don't have much of a pass rush, but Greg Williams has been creative, and it's allowed them to get more pressure on the quarterback lately. And then offensively, yeah, the Steelers have a big advantage, or defensively, the Steelers have a big advantage on the Jets' offensive line, but the Jets also have other advantages with pass-catching backs, and I think their tight ends as well, which Sam Darnold has relied on a lot. And then the biggest factor of all, the Le'Veon Bell revenge game. He left the Steelers very sour, and him saying now, oh, they wanted to trade for me, they want him back. I think that could get in their head a lot. And I know he wants to if there's anything he wants to do, he wants to keep him out of the playoffs. And I think he does well in this game. I'm going to take the Jets, very low-scoring game, 17-13.
If both teams were fully healthy, I'd agree with you. I disagree with you completely right now, though. And trust me, I didn't want the Steelers in the playoffs either. But I will say right now that the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing very good football. I don't care if Delvin Hodges or Mason Rudolph's the quarterback. Here's the problem. They're fully healthy, and the Jets are a damn walking injury report themselves. No Jamal Adams. No, who's stopping James Conner?
The second-best run defense in the NFL.
Juju Smith-Schuster is going to have a pretty big day, I'd imagine. I would venture to say this could be the game that people go, all right, he's the number one after all. Now, I understand that you say they're the second-best run defense in the NFL, and here's the kicker. The Jets aren't going to move the football in this football game. TJ Watt's not going to get stopped by that line, and Minkah Fitzpatrick has been the best defensive player in football since going to Pittsburgh. And no Jamal Adams, probably no Robbie Anderson, no Demaryius Thomas, no Bilal Powell. And Le'Veon Bell, I would have agreed with you if he didn't hate the Jets more than he hates the Steelers. So I will take Pittsburgh in this football game, 20-14 over the Jets.
All right, the biggest tank poll of all time, the Cincinnati Bengals at the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to take the Bengals to win this game. I think it'll be higher scoring than people expect, even though with both these offenses struggling. These defenses are struggling more, especially in the front seven. I think both teams will be able to run in this game, but the Bengals are the better running back, so that's simple as that. And even with no Auden Tate, I think the other receivers will go off too. Miami will settle for field goals like they've done pretty much the entire time. And I think the Bengals
kicker is hurt.
Yeah, and I think the Bengals.
Sick,
I think the Bengals. They've played close for a while in certain games. I think they're due to squeak one out. I'll take the Bengals 27-23.
I'm actually going to agree. I think Cincinnati does win this football game, and I think Joe Mixon has a career day. Also, secondary for Cincinnati is not as bad as people think. Devontae Parker, I don't think is going to get that open. And Ryan Fitzpatrick likes turning the ball over. So I think William Jackson, Jesse Bates, and
Dre Kirkpatrick.
Yes, could go off. I think that's going to be a pretty good matchup for him. I will take Cincinnati in this football game, 20-17 over the Dolphins.
All right, the other tank bowl, the Giants and the Redskins. This one I think will be a little more low scoring. Even though the Giants' defense has really struggled, the Redskins' offense hasn't been much better. They've progressed a little bit, which is why I think they will win this game. Haskins has played a little better. He's spreading the ball around, which he kind of has to do with not very good targets on this team. And the Giants' secondary, like I said, have really struggled. I think the Giants' front seven will hold them to field goals, which could keep it interesting. But Daniel Jones' first game back, still not 100% probably. Front seven for the Redskins has played a lot better. I will favor them in this game. I'll take the Redskins 23-17.
I think Saquon's going to have a phenomenal day. Apparently Evan Ingram's back, Daniel Jones is back, Sterling Shepard's playing. I think the Giants will win this football game. I do. I think that Dwayne Haskins comes back down to earth. I think that the lack of weapons will hurt the Redskins against the bad secondary of the Giants. I think you're going to see a couple of fumbles from the Redskins. And Landon Collins will probably be the best player on the field for the Redskin defense. Problem is, he can only be at one spot at a time. I will take the Giants in this football game 24-21 over the Redskins.
All right, a game with a little more meaning. The Baltimore Ravens at the Cleveland Browns. I so badly wanted to take Cleveland in this because I do think the Ravens are too hot, and I do think they're going to come back. The problem is I just can't see it with this lack of run defense. They just don't have anything that can stop the run right now. So even if the Ravens are a little more conservative with Lamar Jackson, which I do think they will be, to try to preserve him for the playoffs, I still think it'll be dynamic in some way, or the backup running backs will go off, and I just don't see it. And I just think the defense just matches up too well against a bad offensive line. I think Nick Chubb will play well, and I think David Njoku can play well. But I think their secondary and the receivers will cancel out, and Baker will turn the ball over some too. I think kind of defense, special teams, and coaching will just win in this game. I think it will be close, and it wouldn't surprise me if the Browns won the game because I do think the Ravens are too hot. And if they do lose, I don't think it's a bad loss. I think it could be a good loss for the Ravens to refocus. But I do think they'll still squeak out the win here. I'll pick the same score I did for the Redskins, 23-17, Ravens.
You didn't do it, but I am. I am taking the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns in this football game are playing for the fact of... Here's the interesting part. Odell Beckham Jr. plays his best football when his name's being thrown around the most. I think Odell's going to have a game. I think he's due. By the way, the best game of his career came against the Baltimore Ravens. 222 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, that happened. So
you got the game winner, too, in less than minutes ago. I remember that game.
Odell went off, so he knows Harbaugh. Harbaugh knows him, but Odell likes to go off against the Ravens. Jarvis Landry's not going to allow them to double team like they did against the Giant game. I'm not saying he goes off for 200 yards, but Odell's going to remind people, I'm a Pro Bowler. I'm a Pro Bowler. That O in my name stands for Pro Bowl. I'm taking Cleveland in this football game. I think the offense sinks, and you're right, Nick Chubb is going to run up and down the field. I don't think the Ravens are as good of a run-stopping team the past few weeks. It's going to make John Harbaugh focus in on that again. Cleveland wins this football game 28-24 over the Ravens, and don't be surprised if Lamar Jackson only plays the first half and sits.
I so badly wanted to pick him. I just can't trust that run defense for Cleveland at all. If they were even average, I'd probably pick
Here's
them.
a matchup, too. You got to look at Denzel Ward and Hollywood Brown. I like Denzel Ward, too.
I don't think they'll be throwing much outside anyway. I think it'll just be a lot of running and tight ends.
Sherbert on Andrews, I like, too. There's a lot of matchups that favor the Browns.
The problem is Schobert's going to have to guard the run a lot, though, too. Just because they do a lot of read options. And
Vernon plays. That's your help.
They need somebody to be a spy. So I don't know.
Vernon can do it. If he plays, I think this game could be a blowout.
Well, they don't have a smart defensive coordinator either, so that doesn't help either.
Easy, big fella.
All right, 2 more meaningless games on the 1 o'clock hour. The Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Atlanta Falcons. I'll take Atlanta in this game. It'll be close. The defense for the Falcons has been a lot better. They did well last week against the 49ers, which I kind of expect them to. I said that game would be close, and their defense did play well in that game for Atlanta. And I think, again, they'll do it well here. Fournette will play well, I think, against a smaller kind of front seven with speed rusher type defensive linemen. So I think he will play well, and I think not tight ends, the slot receivers can play well in this game for Jacksonville because they do like to spread the ball around. But I think Atlanta can take away the top guys very easily, and their offense, I think, plays well. Even without Calvin Ridley, we saw them play well last week. So I'll take Atlanta 27-21.
I agree. I also agree with Garrett Sheffield Jr. that Jeff Kent is not a Hall of Famer in this class. I think we talked about Jeff Kent, right?
I think I had him in, and I think you had him out. Okay.
I definitely had him out, but
okay.
That was interesting. Atlanta wins the football game. It's close. Gardner Minshew makes his team play better. I actually like DJ Chark against Desmond Trufant. Chark is faster, and he's the same size, so I like that a lot. Also, Leonard Fournette is going to be able to run up the field. Deion Jones is going to be too worried about all the receivers going over the middle and stuff. I think this game is close, but ultimately Julio Jones and Matt Ryan win the football game. I will say Matt Ryan puts up 28, Gardner Minshew puts up 21.
All right, last of the 1 o'clock games, another rookie quarterback debuting. The Carolina Panthers at the Indianapolis Colts. The first start for Will Grier. And I think he wins. I think he wins, and I think the Panthers win this game. The Colts have continued to be in a free fall. I don't trust their defense at all right now. Darius Leonard could only do so much, and the problem is the Panthers have a lot of similar type skill players, and I think Will Grier will be able to strive on that. He's got a big arm against a secondary that has struggled, and I think he plays well. Remember, I was saying that he has a chance. I think he's a project, but I think he has a chance to be one of the better quarterbacks in this draft class, and I think he'll show it in this game, some big plays against a defense that has struggled.
I agree. We got somebody on the phone, so I'm going to make this quick. I do agree that the Colts have been in free fall. This game will be close. I don't think it's a blowout. Christian McCaffrey will keep this game close. Indianapolis got humiliated on Monday night. They're not going to get – Frank Reich's too good of a coach. He's too good. People want him fired. You're out of your mind.
Yeah, you're out of your mind.
You're out of your goddamn mind. Andrew Luck retired. Hello? And this team won 6 games. That's an impressive feat. The Colts win this football game out of respect for their head coach. 28-24 over the Panthers. I know I've said that score a lot.
All right, so my score was 27-17 Panthers. I didn't say it, but
No.
all right. Here's our caller.
Welcome to the home stretch. How may I help you?
Tyler!
Errol?
That's right.
Uh-oh.
Who did I sound like there?
Me when I say trade him now.
Am I in trouble again?
No, actually you're not. I want to make my picks because I wasn't there tonight. I've been running around taking care of some things.
All right, we just finished the 1:00 games. You want to do the Saturday ones? We'll start with those.
Yeah, let's do the Saturday
All right, so
ones. I'll go through them quick.
Texans Bucks. We both have Houston. I had 30-14. Tyler had 30-7.
I got the Texans 21-7.
Patriots, Bills.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be at Buffalo, right?
No,
No,
it's in New England. They
Foxborough.
played in Buffalo.
I got New England in this game. 27-24.
All right, Rams 49ers in San Francisco.
In San Francisco, I have the 49ers. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to say 21-17.
All right, Saints at the Titans.
Saints are going to win this game. Very, very close game. It's going to come down to the wire. I say 31-28.
Hot down to the wire. I get what you did there. Good job.
I actually took the upset with the Titans. Tyler also took the Saints. Steelers at the Jets.
Steelers win this game. The game's not going to be even close. I think the offensive line's going to get killed in this game. They're really going to get killed in this game. And the secondary is going to – the Jets have no wide receivers. The secondary is going to gobble it up.
Oh, Megan Fitzpatrick's just going to free fall the ball.
I'm sorry?
Megan Fitzpatrick's just going to be told fall wherever the ball goes.
Yeah, because there's no wide receivers that are going to be able to catch the ball in this particular game. Demaryius Thomas is out for the rest of the season. I don't have the Jets, so I'm going to say the Jets lose, and I think Pittsburgh wins 24-14.
All right, the Tank Bowl, Bengals Dolphins.
Bengals Dolphins.
Yeah,
I actually got the Bengals in this game.
we did too.
I got the Bengals in this game. It'll be a close game. Got the Bengals 17-14.
All right, Tank Bowl 2, Giants Redskins.
I got the Giants in this game. I do. I got the Giants in this game. I think the Giants win the game. Saquon Barkley's going to run all over the Washington Redskins. Saquon looked good last week. I think he's going to look even better this week. He better look better. I need him for my fantasy. So.
Yeah,
I'm on the
$100
finals,
league. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the Giants in this game. Again, another close game. The Giants will have a really big lead early in the game. Redskins will come back, and it'll come down to the wire. But all in all, I think the Giants will win this game, 27-20.
All right, Ravens Browns.
The Ravens are going to have this game. There's no way the Browns are going to stop Lamar Jackson. Baker Mayfield looks terrible this year. I think you're going to see a lot of changes this year, this coming off season for the Browns. Odell Beckham, I think, will be gone. The coach is going to be fired.
Obviously, Kareem Hunt will go elsewhere. This team's going to be completely cut apart. They were expected to win this year. They're not going to win this year. They're not making the playoffs. Lamar Jackson, yes, Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens win this game 40-20.
I actually have the Ravens too, but I had it close. Tyler is picking the Browns with the upset. All right, Jags and Falcons.
Jags and Falcons. Jags and Falcons. This is a good game, but I think the Atlanta Falcons are going to win this game. They surprised the world last week when they beat San Francisco. I think they're going to surprise. I don't think there's nothing to surprise with this particular game. I got the Falcons winning this game 21-10.
All right, Panthers, Colts.
Tampa wins this game. Colts don't win.
Panthers. No, not Tampa.
Oh, who? I'm sorry?
Panthers. Carolina Panthers, not Tampa.
Oh, Carolina Panthers and the Colts, right?
Yes.
I got Carolina in this game. I think Carolina will win this game. They haven't looked very good since they fired their coach. You know what? Eat that. I'll take Indianapolis in this game. I'll I'll listen to Tyler on this one. I think. I don't know why I said that, but I'll listen to Tyler.
Tyler's grinning over there.
Because you know what this finally means? He's finally going to be right for once on the network. That's what that means.
I don't know about that. You're definitely not right 90% of the time. So
that's an exaggeration.
Yeah, well, don't get me
wait,
started.
that's your opinion.
No, it's a fact. Anyways, I'm gonna take the Indianapolis Colts, and I do believe they're gonna fire Frank Reich at the end of the season.
You're
Really? I can't
really
imagine that. They're not a very
really
talented
do.
team, and they hung tough for a while.
I think they're gonna fire him. Yeah.
They lost a generational talent at quarterback.
I understand what they lost, but I think they're gonna go elsewhere, and I think they're gonna hire another coach because there's a couple of really good coaches. There's a couple of really good coaches out there.
Unless they're going to bring back Jim Caldwell, it makes no sense.
If Frank Reich gets fired, I hope the Giants overpay for him massively.
Right.
All
If you're
well,
a Giants fan, you should be rooting for it.
I think Indianapolis will win this game 24-21, and I think they will fire Frank Reich at the end of the season.
If they go in 8, he ain't getting fired.
All right, so we're on to the 4 o'clock games. We haven't done these yet. So, you want to have him go first, and then we'll go after that?
Yeah.
All right, so Arizona Cardinals at the Seattle Seahawks.
So it's me?
Yeah, you're going to go first.
All right, Seattle's winning this game. I mean, Russell Wilson, he's the MVP of the league this year. Even though Lamar Jackson's been sensational, I still think Russell Wilson has been just a unique quarterback. He's changed. He's become more of a pocket presence now this year than we've seen in a very long time. I think he's been incredible. I got Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks winning this game 28-14.
Yeah, I got Seattle as well. I think the Cardinals could spread them out a little bit with the wide receivers. I think they'll keep it close in the first half, and then Seattle will just run away with it. The Cardinals have struggled with big plays. The Seahawks have great big play receivers. Even just losing Josh Gordon now, Russell Wilson could stretch the field. I think you'll get a lot of big plays here. And the Seahawks are at home. Arizona usually hangs tough in Seattle, but I can't imagine it here. 31-20 Seahawks.
Blowout city. Russell Wilson puts his stamp on the MVP case. 38-14. Russell Wilson wins the MVP after this.
All right, another kind of meaningless game. Raiders at the Chargers.
This is going to be an interesting game because the Raiders are now out. I can't see them physically making the playoffs now.
And
the
Josh
Chargers
Jacobs is out.
The Chargers are horrendous. I mean, they're a team. Derwin James missed practically the whole season, and since he hasn't played, this defense hasn't looked the same. It's amazing how one player can change the understanding of what a defense could be. And this was one of the best defenses in football last year. This is one of the worst defenses in football this year. It's unbelievable how the transition has. And Phillip Rivers looks old. I think we've seen the last of Phillip Rivers, and I think we've seen the last of Eli Manning. I think it's a new generation of quarterbacks. I'm going to take the Oakland Raiders and John Gruden, which has had. I was very surprised. John Gruden's had a sensational season. He really has. I've been very impressed with the development of some of their young players. It's just been very impressed with them. I'm going to take the Oakland Raiders in this game, 21-14.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Raiders, too. I think this will be actually more of a high-scoring game because the Raiders' defense has really struggled, too. I agree with you. I think Phillip Rivers will be gone at the end of the season, but I do think he plays well in this game with all the receiving talent they have against a pretty bad secondary, not great pass rush. The problem is the Chargers, outside of the pass rush, really don't have much of that either. Casey Hayward could shut down one side, but that's really it. Derek Carr, I think, plays well. And I do think their other running backs will play well in this game, too. They played well the first time Jacobs was out against the Titans and made that game very interesting for 3 quarters until Tennessee ran away with it. And obviously the Titans are much better defense than the Chargers are. So I'm going to take the Raiders. It'll be close. Shootout, 31-28.
No, I'm alone on this one. That's fine. I think the Chargers win this football game. I think they're going to be able to control the clock with Eckler and Gordon more. I think Phillip Rivers is really going to be able to control the game with short throws to Keenan Allen because who the hell's in the Oakland secondary? And also, I'm really, really expecting Derwin James to kind of look normal again. Derek Carr is an absolute great quarterback, but he's also very keen to turnovers. With Joey Bosa on one side, Derwin James ball hawking around. I do think that's going to be a tough game for the Chargers. The Raiders, I apologize. Plus, they're at home. So if you
Why does that ever matter?
No, it doesn't. But you would like to think that matters somewhat. So I will say San Diego wins this football game 30-27 over the Raiders.
All right, Lions at the Broncos, another meaningless game.
Lions at the Broncos. I got the Broncos in this game. I've been very impressed with Mr. Locke. I think he's been really impressive. What happened?
I was telling Speedy, what did I tell you about Drew Lock?
Listen, Mikey C loved him. Mikey C loved him when he was drafted. He thought he was one of the best quarterbacks in this year's draft. He fell to the second round. The Broncos snagged him up. He's been very impressive. Let's see what he can do in a full season. That's something that I definitely want to see next year. But I think he's been very impressive with a little bit I've seen of him. And the offensive lines play very, very well in front of him. So the team is playing for him. I've been very impressed. Give me the Broncos in this game, 34-14.
Yeah, I think it'll be a blowout, too. I think the Lions' defense has really struggled. Now, obviously, a tough trip to Denver, the altitude, which I think for a big-arm quarterback like Drew Lock, he's definitely been able to benefit in. The Lions' secondary outside of Slay has really struggled. And I think the Broncos can also get a great run game, too. Phillip Lindsay, Royce Freeman, I think they could play well. The Lions, especially the outside run, really struggle. And offensively, they don't really match up well either. T.J. Hockenson, I think, will play well, but that's really it. I think Chris Harris and Kenny Golladay kind of cancel, and I trust the Broncos secondary right now. They've played really well under Vic Fangio. I'm going to take the Broncos huge as well, 26-10.
It's a shame because Matt Stafford had this team playing very well till he got hurt. I really want to take Detroit in the upset because I do think that Detroit's going to go in there and keep this game very close. I think Denver's going to win regardless, but I do think Detroit will keep this game close. And also the leg of Brandon McManus is something that people don't talk about enough. That special teams for Denver is always pretty good. Denver will win this football game. I do think that it will be closer than you guys think. But I will go 24-14 Denver over the Lions.
All right. For the NFC East, Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, I will tell you this. Matthew Stafford will not be a Lion next year. And I promise you on that one. Matthew Stafford's had a sensational year. I've heard they're keeping their coach. He has had his differences with the coach. And I believe Matthew Stafford will be traded in the offseason. And I think they can get a first-round draft pick for Matthew Stafford.
Oh, they're going to get more than that.
I think he's an elite quarterback in this league, and I think somebody's going to grab him, and is going to have a very good quarterback, and is going to steal a quarterback from a Lions team that doesn't realize how great he really is.
I have a spot for him, too, for a coach that likes to take in veteran quarterbacks, Tampa. I could see that working.
He's young, too. He's still young.
I think he's 30-31, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he's a young guy. He's still young, and I just got an unbelievable. I think people underestimate his arm. I think He's got one of the best arms in all of football. I think he's a great quarterback. Underrated on the team that he's in.
Top 10.
So, I'm sorry?
He's a top 10 quarterback.
I agree.
I think he could be a top 5 quarterback. I think he's been elite. Look at his numbers. He's an elite quarterback. He's got elite numbers. Look at the team he's played for all these years. He's been an incredible quarterback. It's a shame that he's on a terrible team that doesn't really give him enough weapons. It's just sad. But,
he's never had a running back in his life.
No, but
he had Calvin Johnson.
Never had
well, yeah, he had receivers. He's just never had a running back.
He had Calvin Johnson. That's it. I mean, and Calvin Johnson's a special player, but that's all he's had. And I gotta say, Matthew Stafford is a sensational quarterback. He really is. So I like him a lot, and I think a lot of teams would love to have Matthew Stafford. So he will be traded. As far as the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cowboys, that's a bet that I think we need to continue on betting for. I want to bet you on that. You said Philadelphia's going to win the game. I beg to differ. I think Dallas is going to win this game. I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to win this game by a huge margin. So there's just something about this game that everybody keeps talking about. Well, Philadelphia, big game, and Carson Wentz came out and said this is the biggest game he's ever played against the Cowboys. Everybody says that Carson. And Carson, you haven't been the same quarterback since you come back. I like Dak.
He's got better numbers than Dak.
No, he doesn't. Not this season.
Yes, he does.
Not this season.
Yes, he does. Look at his numbers.
Not this year.
Look at his numbers.
Go look at his numbers. Ezekiel Elliott has been very poor. He's been good this year, but not Ezekiel Elliott. I think he's going to have a great game against this defense. I really do.
I mean, he just dominated the Rams.
I'm sorry?
He just dominated the Rams.
Ezekiel Elliott is. I think he's up for the task. I think he's going to. I think he's going to be a big part of this offense in this game. I like the Dallas Cowboys in this game by a huge margin too. I like them 30-14. I think they're going to win this game. I think it's not Dak that's going to. I think the defense is going to play well again for a second week. I think they're going to be able to get to Carson Wentz. I think they're going to cause havoc in the middle. And the offensive line, as good as the offensive line's been the last couple of years, they don't look as good as they've been in the last couple of years. So I think they're vulnerable. I like the Dallas Cowboys.
All right. This is going to be, I think, one of those old school NFC East games. You're going to see very sloppy. I think you're going to see good pass rushing both ways. Because you're right, the Eagles line without Lane Johnson is definitely not the same with Vaitai or Dillard, whoever's going to be starting there. So I think the Cowboys' pass rush will end up making a difference. Where I disagree with you is the run defense is still strong for Philly, and it has been strong all season. And I think that will help them stop Ezekiel Elliott. Dak, I mean, he's got to play, but he's not exactly playing 100% either. I think that'll end up making a difference. And I think that last week, you saw some of the throws, even with the hairline fracture in his hand. You saw some of his throws were kind of low. He was missing to the side a lot, which, again, if you're going to play the Eagles, you got to attack the outside, which I think he can to an extent, but I think it'll be hard. I don't think Carson Wentz plays great either. I think the run game for the Eagles, though, does, and I do think Wentz actually will play well in terms of rolling out and extending plays. Not really throwing deep downfield, but I think him and the tight ends, I think, will end up having good chemistry. And no Van Der Esch for Dallas. I think that'll end up making a difference, too. And the Eagles just always play better in the second half of the season, especially in December. And I think this will be another big game Dallas loses. They're just notorious for it. I'll take the Eagles 23-20.
I want to make this perfectly known right now. When the Cowboys lose this football game, I don't want to hear any complaining about referees. I don't want to hear anything about, we got screwed, blah, 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 blah. Unless there's a, I don't know, Robbie Coleman hit to a defenseless receiver in this football game, I don't want to hear anything. You're going to lose this football game. If you look at the numbers, Carson Wentz, besides yards, higher completion percentage, better touchdown-to-interception ratio, I'm taking Wentz. I am, and I think Carson Wentz has less weapons around him. And here's the other thing. Who's covering Zach Ertz? Greg Ward is was he even drafted in the 6th round?
I'm not sure.
He is a late-round draft pick or an undrafted guy that Carson Wentz had chemistry with. basically on the fly. Now, Nelson Aguilar looks like he's going to play. Jordan Howard looks like he's going to play. The Eagles are going to make this game interesting. They are not by any stretch of the means, not even the home stretch. Are they going to go out there and lay an egg at home? If this was in Dallas, I understand what everybody's talking about. The Dallas Cowboys just blew out the Rams because Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott ran for damn near 300 yards. Dak Prescott, by the way, has a bum shoulder. I don't think that's good. I do not think that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to figure out that Dak Prescott does not have a bum shoulder. Dak Prescott's going to have a hard time throwing against that defense. They are going to take away Zeke, or they're going to limit Zeke, and they're going to limit the running game. Jason Witten is not going to be able to win this football game for the Cowboys. He's going to have to hit Amari Cooper. He's going to have to hit Randall Cobb. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. I don't think he's going to have the time to do it. I'm taking Philly 28-14 over the Cowboys. And, yeah, I've said that score a lot, but I just think they're going to rout them.
All right, Sunday Night Football. The Kansas City Chiefs at the Chicago Bears. Matt Nagy versus his former coach when he was an offensive coordinator.
I got Kansas City. I have Kansas City in this game. Mahomes is looking to strong form in the last couple of weeks. I like what I've seen with Mahomes. This offense is starting to hit on all cylinders, and by the way, the defense is starting to wake up. Spagnuolo's defense is starting to wake up. The team is starting to figure out what this defense is all about. They're going to be a really scary team. Spags has really transitioned this defense to be a completely blitz-happy defense that can get to the quarterback. I like this defense in the playoffs, especially against the Patriots and some of these teams that have terrible offensive lines.
Even if they get to the Patriots.
What happened?
They might not even get to the Patriots.
No, I'm just saying, I like this team. They can get to the quarterback. They're a scary front seven. And these different blitz packages that he uses, bringing up the safeties, moving them in the middle, shifting the line at the line of scrimmage. You've seen a lot of things that you saw with the Giants in 2007. You see that with Kansas City this year, and now they're starting to figure it out. And that's going to be a scary defense when they start to figure it out, because I think Spags got the weapons at the front seven. So I like Kansas City in this game. I think they're going to be a better defense in this game than Chicago is going to be this game. I like Kansas City. Kansas City wins the game 28-14.
Yeah, I like Kansas City a lot in this game, too. The Bears, outside of Kyle Fuller, really have had trouble in their secondary for much of the season, and Patrick Mahomes has done it with many different receivers, with Hill being hurt a lot, with Hardman being hurt at times, and Watkins, obviously, he's always hurt. So he's done it with pretty much everybody. So he has trust in these guys, and I think you'll see a lot of big plays. Chicago will put some pressure on Mahomes, but Mahomes does a nice job extending plays. And the Chiefs' offensive line has played a lot better in the second half of the season. And I agree with you on the defense. They're definitely progressing. They're actually a top 10 pass defense right now, and nobody realizes it. They're still iffy against the run. The problem is Chicago hasn't been great running the ball either. Cohen's been a little down this year. Montgomery's still trying to find his form. And obviously this offensive line, which overperformed last year, has not played well this year. So I think the Chiefs win, and the Chiefs win pretty big here in this one, 34-17.
Yeah, I agree. I actually agree with both you guys. I think this is a blowout. I think Kansas City routs them. Again, Kansas City's got something to play for. They can get a bye. They can get home field as opposed to going to New England again. They could get New England to come back to Kansas City or Arrowhead. That's definitely an advantage that Andy Reid needs. Patrick Mahomes, I think, is, like you said, probably the one quarterback in the league that could elude Khalil Mack. And the running game, not having a running game, is really irrelevant because Chicago is only going to really stop the run. They can't stop the pass. So I think Pat Mahomes is going to have a phenomenal day. And I don't think it matters where. And Travis Kelce is going to be left alone because Trevathan's out. So I believe Trevathan's out. Yeah, it looks like it. But I don't know. It's going to be a blowout, though. I'll take Kansas City 31-7 over the Bears.
By the way, there's a lot of quarterbacks that can get away from Khalil Mack in the league. One of them, you absolutely hate Lamar Jackson. The other one,
I knew you were going to bring that up.
And the other one, Russell Wilson.
So you said a lot. You named two.
There are a lot. You want me to think of them? There are a lot of quarterbacks that can get away from Khalil Mack.
I don't think you understand that Khalil Mack runs like a 4.4.
I think I know who Khalil Mack is because
No, that's not what I said. Khalil Mack is just as fast as Lamar Jackson is.
No, I doubt it. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. Lamar Jackson runs 19 miles per hour. I don't think Khalil Mack can do that. A 250-pound lineman. Sorry, that's not going to happen. I don't know what you're drinking or what you're smoking. Okay,
iced tea.
You put Lamar Jackson in a race against Khalil Mack, he will burn him. So
That's not what you
no
said.
idea
You
what
said elude. Khalil Mack is going to get.
That's true.
off
That's an
the set.
agility stat.
There is no way he's anywhere close to his fast.
What the hell did he just say?
So,
I don't know.
what?
All right.
I don't know. I thought you just said something weird. I don't know.
All right.
There's no way, I said there's no way in hell he would be able to beat Lamar Jackson in a foot race.
That's great. It's not a foot race. It's about getting to him to hit him.
Oh, okay. And how many people have gotten to Lamar Jackson this year? Not a lot.
A lot have
Let's
gotten
go.
to him. They just whiff.
Yeah, because they can't catch him. Now let's go.
All right, Monday Night Football. A huge game for the NFC North. The Green Bay Packers
Oh, this is a
at the
huge
Minnesota
game for a lot of
Vikings.
Oh, this is going to be a fun game. This is going to be Minnesota's at home, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I like Minnesota in this game. Aaron Rodgers is going to have a great game. This is going to be a back-and-forth quarterback duel. I think both defense. I really do think so. Even though Minnesota's looked as good as they have in the last 3 weeks, to me, they've been the best defense in the last 3 weeks, easily in football. But I just think Aaron Rodgers has got to, when he plays a divisional game, he always plays well against Minnesota. It's always fun to watch. But I think Minnesota, Cousins at the running game. Green Bay has a problem stopping the run. They have two dual threats running up the middle. I think that's going to cause a lot of problems inside and out. And the speed on the outside. Green Bay just can't catch some of these guys. So I think Green Bay is going to have a lot of problems in their secondary. I like Minnesota in this game. It's going to be a really close game. This is going to come down to the end. I'm going to take Minnesota in this game 28-24.
Go ahead, Speedy.
I'm going to take Minnesota as well. I agree. I trust their defense right now a lot more than I trust Green Bay's. Green Bay's is kind of leveled down a little bit since the hot start they had in the beginning of the season. They haven't been bad. They've just been very average more than anything else. And, again, the weak run offense without Dalvin Cook and the weak run defense, I think that'll kind of cancel out, especially since the other guys played well last week. And now, granted, the Chargers aren't a good run defense either, but neither are the Packers.
Can I cut you off?
Yeah.
So I can pick, so I can pee?
Yeah, go for it.
This is a blowout to me. I think the Vikings win this football game 31-17.
All righty. Wow. Okay, I didn't expect that. Yeah, so I think that'll end up making a difference. I just trust their will to run the ball a lot more. Xavier Rhodes, I think, against Devontae Adams, it will kind of cancel out. And while I think the other receivers can play well for Green Bay at times, I don't think it'll be the whole game. I still think the Vikings' corners are more talented. Aaron Rodgers will play well. The problem is I don't trust Aaron Jones to play well, and I just don't think the offensive line for Green Bay will be able to hold up the whole time against that Vikings pass rush. So I'll take the Vikings. Close game. I think they'll be held to field goals to keep it interesting. I'll take them 23-21 over the Green Bay Packers.
Did he just say that he had to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, he did. That's why he had to pick.
On live radio.
That's why he had to pick before that. He said Vikings 31-17, which I'm still surprised at because he normally hates on the Vikings.
Interesting. Really, really interesting. Well, I absolutely enjoyed this text messaging duel that I had with him earlier today. So,
Duel?
Unfortunately, yes. Duel, yes.
Duel, okay.
Yes, back and forth, arguing and banter with this guy because he thinks that Aaron Boone is such a bad manager, which is ridiculous. And analytics say that he's out of his mind. Do you know that if Aaron Boone wins 3 back-to-back-to-back 100-win seasons, he will be only one of 3 managers in baseball history to do that? Do you know that? 3.
There's
he wins
a
100
very good
games
chance
this
of
year,
happening.
If he does that, he'll be only one of 3 managers in baseball history to do that. And that's coming from a horrible, horrible manager. So it just shows you how much these guys know on our radio station. It's absolutely ridiculous that comes out of their mouth. And you want to know something? It's just as bad as Jason Garrett's such a bad bad coach.
No Jason Garrett talk until next week.
Well, I've lost my will to listen to some of these guys on our network.
Well, if the Cowboys win, you can definitely brag about that. And if that's the case, that'd probably be one of the bigger wins for Jason Garrett. Well, he has returned.
He's still on the phone.
Yes, he was taking shots at you.
All right, what do you got? Hello?
What do I got? I got nothing.
We knew that.
I got a moron that I talked to on the other line. That's what I.
Why? Who'd you hang up and talk to? Anthony Carragher?
No, I'm talking to you.
You said on the other line.
Listen, man. When you start looking at analytics more in a sports analytic broadcasting way, then we can argue points. Because you the one thing you lack, which you understand, sports is all about analytics now, man. When you look at books, you look at iPads, you see all the managers, even in basketball now, you see the coach. He carries his binder. There's an iPad in his binder because he's got plays. He looks at different plays that work against certain different teams and what he studied when he watched film against the teams that he's playing every single night. So it's a completely different world. It's technological. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, technog. There you go. That's a good word. Technog.
That's good.
I like that. I like that. Technog.
You like that?
That's pretty good. I like that a lot, actually. That's something smart you said today. I like technog.
Yeah.
He's quoting the wise Kirk Cousins.
You like that?
Well, that's it. There are three things that I don't understand about Tyler. One, he thinks Kirk Cousins is a terrible quarterback.
I think he's overrated. That's not.
You're crazy. You think Jason Garrett's terrible.
No, I don't. I agreed with you, you putz.
No. I'm sorry, not you. That's not you. That's the stupidity that comes out of Matty Capps' mouth.
And Mike
Guido.
Guido.
The other idiots that think that they know what they're talking about. The other thing that I can't stand, the Lamar Jackson hatred from you. I don't.
It's not
understand.
hatred. He's a simplistic quarterback.
The Baker Mayfield love effect. I mean,
I don't even rave about Baker Mayfield. Shows what you know. I have stopped raving.
There's nothing to rave about. There's nothing to rave about. He stinks. That's what you're raving about. He stinks. You know what's funny? You said in the beginning, before the season started, Lamar Jackson was going to be the worst quarterback in the league.
No.
Yes, you did.
No, I said that at the end of the season, he'd be the worst quarterback in the league.
You said he was going to be one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And the guy that you said was going to be a top 3 quarterback is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. It's so funny. It all flip-flopped on you right there. But, I don't understand something.
I got 99% of the list right. I got 2 guys flip-flopped. Oh, so kill me God.
Yeah, but there's a big difference in getting 3 and 32 flip-flops versus like 10 and 17.
You're 99% right. You're 99% right, huh?
What?
You put Eli Manning at 11.
I would trust Eli, yes.
You put Phillip Rivers at 10, okay? You were wrong completely.
In his defense, you also loved the Chargers, too, at the start of the year.
Right.
But yes, I did love the Chargers. And everybody loved there was a lot of people, not just me, that loved the Chargers. A lot of people love the Chargers.
Analytics say the Chargers are supposed to be better than this. I know.
And analytics say how they are horrible in close games.
Well, but
I do say this. Derwin James has really affected their defense all season
well, right.
long.
I didn't plan for Derwin James to miss 10 weeks.
I mean, that really hurt their defense. Their defense is not the same without him. He's still not at 100%. You can see him when he's playing on the field.
Right.
So
there was no reason to even start him. He shouldn't even be playing.
No, I don't think he should be playing. Just like Sam should not be playing right now for the Jets. I think it's ridiculous that Sam Darnold is playing. They're going to kill that kid.
If Errol doesn't bring up a Sam Darnold take, I don't know if he's feeling well.
No, I'm being serious. I think Pittsburgh's going to hurt him. I think they're going to hurt him.
T.J. Watt's going to hit him every snap.
I just think I feel bad for him because the Jets put him in harm's way, and this kid's getting hit every game. Do you know Sam Darnold is one of the – this year he's been hit more times than I think There's only 3 other quarterbacks that have been hit more times than him, and he's missed a significant amount of games.
Yeah, he missed, like, what,
So-
6 weeks?
Yep.
5 weeks. He's been hit more times than about 85% of the quarterbacks in the league, and he's missed like 5 games this week.
Yeah, I think the Jets are 4th in sacks allowed, if I remember correctly. I think it's Jameis Winston, Kyler Murray, and Baker have been sacked the most. Then I think it's Darnold.
I mean, it's ridiculous. The kid's getting killed, and I think the Jets are putting him in harm's way. And you have a franchise quarterback that is going to go into the offseason hoping that Joe Douglas figures this out. I think he will. I think he'll try to figure out how to protect him in the offseason. But again, the Jets have a long way to go when it comes to wide receivers. It's going to be very interesting because I'm hearing that the Jets might draft a wide receiver in the first round. So I've been hearing a lot of intake of different stories that I've read that that a lot of people think that the Jets are going to draft a wide receiver.
Well, yeah, if they miss out on the 2 tackles we were talking about, maybe that could be the best value for them because there's a lot of good receivers in this draft.
Chase Young.
Chase Young probably won't be there where the Jets are picking.
No, I don't think Chase Young. I think he's a bust, and I'm going to say it again.
Really?
I've said this already a million times. I think Chase Young is going to be a bust in the NFL. I think we've heard a little too much about this kid on how great he is, just like we thought Jadeveon Clowney was going to be a beast in the NFL. He's been okay. He hasn't been great. And for a guy that everybody was trying to compare to Lawrence Taylor, now they're comparing this kid to Lawrence Taylor. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for anyone to be Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor was that special.
But I think the Bosa's are a different breed. That's why when they come from Ohio State, how good they are. I
don't think he'll be better than the Bosas.
Snugs alert!
I think he'll still be very good, though.
I think he's going to be a bust. I think he's going to be a bust.
Snugs alert!
I'm sorry, Snugs alert. What's up?
The caller does not seem to appreciate being a guest on the show. It is a high honor to make picks with gentlemen as wise and fun as Speedy and Tyler. Perhaps he should relax and enjoy it rather than be aggressive and ultra biased. Hashtag ban the beef. Hashtag heckle the heckler.
Well, thank you to the ridiculous cat who needs to be, smacked around a little bit, stuff him with a bunch of cupcakes or something, because the guy has no idea what he's talking about half the time anyway. He's like I'm not even going to say what I think of him sometimes, but I love Snug. Some of the things that come out of his mouth, and I appreciate him calling the show yesterday, but he's just outrageously stupid sometimes. So I respect him as a person, sometimes don't respect him as a caller, but that's just me.
Garrett Cole deserved every penny.
I'm sorry?
Garrett Cole deserved every penny the Yankees gave him.
Garrett Cole? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Oh, absolutely.
No, he doesn't.
He's going to save your idiot manager from making stupid decisions.
Oh, idiot manager? First of all, if you're going to give a guy 9 years, $324 million.
It's not going to be 9 years. He's opting out after 5.
He's opting out in 5 years, Tyler. What are you, nuts?
He's going to opt out.
Tyler, I'm going to tell you this right now. The new CBA is going to come out. There is no way in hell. I'm going to repeat this. No way in hell.
Baseball is going to go up, not down.
These pitchers are going to make what Garrett Cole just got. I'm telling you right now. You're going to see completely transition. This opener thing that you see with these pitchers, it's going to transition league. You're going to see more and more teams this year do exactly what the Yankees have done, what Cleveland has done, what all these different teams have done. Oakland, these teams do it. I'm telling you, there is no way he's opting out of that contract. There's no way in hell. Because I don't think you're going to see a pitcher get that contract ever. That is a huge, ridiculous contract. As good as Garrett Cole is, that's crazy. You're paying a guy almost $37.5 million to pitch every 5th day. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. I think he's a great pitcher. He's not worth $324 million. He is the second highest paid player in Major League history. Second.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a pitcher. Mm-hmm. And he pitches every 5th day. That's a ridiculous contract. And to me, the Yankees will regret that. Even if they win a World Series, they will regret that contract.
How do they regret winning a World Series, Errol?
Because it's not one World Series in a 9-year contract is not worth it. not
No,
worth it.
that's what Garrett Cole even said. The object isn't 1. The object's 2 or 3. You win.
well, I
if
don't
you
think
win at least, even if you win 2, it was worth it.
Duffler, do you know how hard it is to win a World Series?
Oh,
I don't
here we
think you realize
flip and go.
It is so difficult to win. What the Yankees did in the 90s was remarkable.
Yes.
That will never be seen again in
We're gonna be here till
baseball
12 o'clock,
for a
speak.
very, very long time. You're not going to see that again, Tyler.
Errol, that's
I
not
don't
what
know
I said.
drugs you're drinking. I don't know what drugs you're taking.
Errol,
You're not gonna see
it's
it.
9 years.
Yes, and they're going to win
If
one
you win
with
2 in 9 years, that's good enough. I'm not saying to win 5 in 6
They're
years.
going to win one. They're going to win one.
That's
gonna
fine.
win one.
That's fine if they win 1. They'll
fine.
probably add more depth than this.
They don't need to add more depth. They got great pitching. They have Domingo Germán that's going to come back after a 30, 40 game suspension.
More than that.
They have
More than that. You're talking
no,
80, 85 games.
I don't think so. He just missed. He missed like 30 games in the playoffs. He's not missing more than 30,
Yankee
40
imposed.
games.
That had nothing to do with Major League Baseball. The Yankees imposed that on him. The Major League Baseball has to.
I don't see the Yankees giving him 80 games.
Major
I
League
know.
Baseball's in charge of this, not the Yankees.
All right, Major League Baseball is not going to give him that either. So
I
that's
would think
ridiculous.
so. Reyes got 40. Chapman got 35. Germán's going to get more. He's just for the stupidity of it.
Germán missed 30 games in the end of the season, and he missed all of the playoffs. There's no way they're giving him 80 games. That's almost a year. What are you, nuts? They're not going to do that.
Errol,
Then baseball's
in
not gonna do
broad
that.
daylight, in parade vue, this guy slapped his girlfriend in the face.
So
that
what?
me-
Chapman tried to kill his girlfriend, and he missed 30 games. Chapman tried to kill his girlfriend.
Reyes
He
did
shot
too.
a-
He got 40.
Oh, my God, no. Chapman pulled out a gun and shot a gun, okay? You have no idea what you're talking about. Maybe you should go and look at the thoughts of what happened 2 years
Errol.
ago with Chapman.
That was at his
Yeah.
house, correct?
What does that mean? What does that matter?
So if Domingo Germán openly slaps his girlfriend walking the street, what do you think he's doing at home behind closed doors?
Maybe I should openly smack you for some of the things that come out of your mouth.
Oh, bring it on, buddy. Come on. I'll wait for you.
Really?
Yeah, I'll wait for you.
Really? You
I'll
want
be
me to
right
come
here.
over there and smack? You want me to come over there and smack you, huh?
You can try.
I'm gonna try.
You can
Tyler,
try.
obviously, you don't know. I don't know who you think you're talking to, man.
I mean, I don't know why
don't
it's
have to
everything's a
try.
joke all the time. So, all right, go ahead, slap me. Will it make you feel better? I don't think so.
No, it wouldn't make me feel better.
Okay,
But
then.
The fact is when you look at some of the things that come out of some of you guys' mouth, it just.
But I don't care what comes out of anybody else's mouth.
Yeah, well, that's the problem.
No,
the
it's
problem
not.
with
I'm not in
some of you
control of
guys.
anyone else's mouth.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with some of you guys is that you don't care about other people's shows. But that's the wrong way of thinking. That's a really wrong way of thinking.
In Tyler's defense, I saw him retweet the Morning Boys, though. So
I
Clearly-
retweet. I'm the only one that retweets anything.
clearly he did care today.
I retweet everything. I'm the only one that retweets anything. I'm the only one that.
Really funny? You know what's really funny, and I shouldn't be talking about this on live radio. It's I give all you guys the Twitter account to promote it. We're growing, and which I give a shout out to myself for really building our Twitter because nobody else is helping. And then you have guys that are going on our Twitter and using it for their own good, for their own good, not for the network, which I think is ridiculous. So, and you know who you are. So I don't have to say any more than that. So it just I read people completely different sometimes on our network.
By the way, did you tag me in that Phillip Rivers video? Was that you?
I tagged you in a Phillip Rivers video.
Because somebody did on our Twitter. They tagged me in a Phillip Rivers video of him trash talking when they had a big lead against Jacksonville.
Really?
Yeah, they tagged me in it. It's probably to take a shot at me.
Listen, I feel bad for Phillip Rivers because when it crashes, it crashes hard for him, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just seems like these quarterbacks, Eli had just completely crashed. And now you're looking at Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger having a major surgery on his elbow. He's not going to be the same quarterback either. I just shame these quarterbacks. They all went at the same time. They went in at the same time. They're all going off at the same time. It's amazing, and I think that's one of the best quarterback classes we've ever seen. It really was. Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, and Mr. Tony Romo, who was not drafted, but he was in that draft. That was one of the best quarterback drafts we've seen in a very, very long time. I hope the Sam Darnold draft is gonna turn out to be like that, and only time will tell. They're all very young, but that was the best quarterback class of my era. I've never seen a quarterback class. All four of them could be Hall of Fame. All of them. So it's incredible. It was a good, and that class. And you look at the draft, and that was a very good draft too. So.
Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald, I know, was third.
You got a lot of Hall of Famers in that draft. A lot. So, it was a great draft. It really was. So, it's a shame. When it rains, it pours. I think this is Brady's last year, too. I really do. I think this elbow problem that we're hearing now, people are saying it's a lot worse than people have said it to be. I think he's going to need elbow surgery. I think his career's over. He's 42, 43 years old. I think he's done. And I think he's leaving anyways this year. And I think Belichick, is leaving this year too. I think it's going to be – I told you this yesterday, Speedy. I think it's Josh McDaniel's team. I think Belichick will move to the GM position.
Which is all they need.
Well, I don't think so. I don't think Josh McDaniels –
Can Josh McDaniels coach to the same effect too, though?
Yeah, I don't
Bill
think
Belichick's still going to tell him what to do. It's not any different than what it is
I
now.
don't know about
Yeah,
that.
first of all, you can't do that.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's illegal.
You're not going to have powers to do that.
It's illegal. The GM cannot tell the coach in the middle of a football game what to do in football.
No, that's not what I said.
It's a fact.
During practice, he can help out and say, "Hey, listen, make
What
sure
is
this
that
guy's."
What is that going to do in in-game play calling?
Yeah,
How the hell are you going to do that?
It's not even just play calling; it's micromanaging the game as well as Bill Belichick does.
Well, no one does that.
Right, but still, you have to remember all that to even just do it to an extent.
It is the end of the Patriots' reign. That's what I'm going to say. It is. It's been a great run. Now we're going to see 10 or 12 years of bad football from them. And we'll see how the Patriot fans, because of this year, they're so angry because the Patriots are what? 10 or 11-3? Oh, my God. The Patriots are 11-3. I was reading some of the Twitter feeds of what these Patriot fans are saying about their team. They're booing their team when they got killed by Baltimore. It's ridiculous.
No, they were on the road against Baltimore.
Whatever. Not the last home game. The last
Kansas
home
City.
game they had.
Kansas City.
They lost. They were booed off the field. Okay? It was ridiculous. You don't boo a team that's won 6 Super Bowls and they've been to three or four Super Bowls in 6 years. It's ridiculous. And you want to know something? It just shows you how lame their fans are, a.k.a. Jeff from Tampa, a.k.a. Snug the Cat, a.k.a. the fake Mikey C. Patriot fan. Okay? So that's what I got to say about that.
Wow.
Oh, boy. What?
The NFL
Take
just
that,
named
Mr.
the
Bobby Henderson Radio. Take that.
The NFL.
Mr. Heckler.
Shut up! The NFL just announced the 10 wide receivers for the NFL team. Guess who's not on it?
The 10 wide receivers for...
The NFL 100 team.
Guess who's not on it?
Yeah. Terrell Owens.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's stupid. That's absolutely retarded. That's the dumbest.
Did you tell me to shut up? Is that what you told me?
Yes, Errol. I was trying to say something that's much more important than the Patriots booing the players off the field.
Well, no, it's not, because Terrell Owens is past tense. Who cares if he made that? Who cares about the all 10 great wide receivers? That don't mean nothing. Numbers show you that Terrell Owens is one of the top 3 wide receivers of all time. I don't need the NFL putting him on a list to prove that, okay? We all know that he was. So it's ridiculous. What they've done to Terrell Owens is a catastrophe.
Yes.
And you know what? Terrell Owens did it to himself. He did it to himself. So
right, but now you're
open
just
to
being
mouth.
petty, and that's why the NFL is viewed as a joke. But, Errol Powell, it's almost 11 o'clock, and I have to go home. I don't think so.
Sometimes I wonder. I do. I love you, but sometimes you say some stupid things. So
I mean, it's all right. I like Mario Lemieux better than Wayne Gretzky kind of stupid things.
Oh, that's a fact.
No, that's an opinion, because according to you, you need facts, and the fact is Wayne Gretzky owns every record you could possibly think of.
I can actually argue that. You want me to give you a fact?
Not right now, no. Not right now, no.
All right, so don't draw me into it. I mean,
I can draw you into. I could draw you into any kind of picture I'd like right now.
Why is that?
I don't know, because it's so easy to do.
Well, it is, because there's some things. But listen, there are a lot of things that you say, Tyler, that I can agree with, and there's a lot of things I just think you're out of your mind. But nevertheless, I listened to a lot of your show. It was a good show tonight. Just a little, on the end of boring at the end of the show. But that's
because you're on it.
I just said it. Just said that.
No. Don't ruin
You
my
didn't
jokes.
listen to me.
No, I didn't.
didn't
I stopped listening once you said good show.
Well, that's good. Unfortunately, you're lost, so that just puts you in the same mind of what I'm thinking right now. Thank you, Tyler.
That you're
Thank
lost?
you, Speedy, no, that you're lost. Speedy, have a good time with your family. Tell your mother that I wish her happy and healthy. And tell her I'll see you later.
Oh, boy. I don't expect anything less.
I love you, Speedy. I love you, man. Have a safe trip home.
Yeah, happy holidays. Happy holidays to you, too.
Happy holidays to everybody. I will be there on Monday. I will be doing a show on Monday without Speedy Petey. And I will be there Thursday producing Tyler's show and maybe doing Below the Mic by myself. And Friday, it will be Tyler and your very good friend Kevin. So there you go.
Oh. I'm calling out Friday. I feel sick.
I think it'll be a good show. I think it'll be fun.
If he shuts up.
To you. Heckle. You and Heckle. Dude, listen, he's a kid. And you want to know something? When you started, you were the same way he was. So he's got ants in his pants. He wants to talk. He's got his own thoughts to it. I think the kid's very talented. I think he just needs to learn mic presence and understand that you have to let people speak. Something that Speedy has learned over the years, just a little bit. He's been a little bit better, but you have to let people speak. You can't let people not speak in a show. There are other people on.
You still don't let people speak.
Oh, absolutely do. If you listen to my show, when I let people speak. I don't cut people.
Well, maybe it's just Mikey C doesn't talk. I don't know.
Anyways, Tyler, I will see you next week. Have a happy and healthy.
You too, buddy. Have a happy and healthy. Tell Brittany and all your family the same.
Oh, I'll figure that out. And tell your son, it's this big. It's this big.
Do you see what I'm doing right now? Are you watching the show?
No, I'm not. I'm listening to the show.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm flipping you off. So just so you know that when you watch this back, there's a huge middle finger just for you.
Well, I'm glad I can make your night so wonderful.
No, you always do, buddy. Always.
Thank you, man.
Always.
Appreciate it. Guys, have a good night.
You too.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
You too.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the one and only
Heckler.
Gel Man himself, Earl Marks. Speedy!
Yes.
We're way past the end game now, pal.
We're in a whole nother portal.
Yeah, we're past Iron Man at this point. We're like Spider-Man and Far Away from Home or Homecoming, whatever.
We're in Spider-Man, the 8th movie of the Marvel series.
We're in stage 7 right now. Go ahead, Speedy. Just tell them where they can find us, and please say goodbye as humanly fast as possible.
We can find Worldwide Sports Radio Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, on our website at worldwidesportsradio.com. And we are one of only 16 sports radio networks and podcasts on radio.com.
Yeah, that's about it. That's it. So, yeah, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We are we're going home. I want to, Speedy, say thank you for all your hard work this year.
Thank you. And great job on your show as well.
Oh, thank you.
All the creative ideas.
Oh, well, thank you. I certainly tried. I don't know if this is goodbye or it's never goodbye, but it might be a see you soon. I'm going to miss the crap out of you.
Same to you.
I really am. If you ever get bored or lonely or whatever, feel free to call me, text me, be like, come get me, whatever. Lord knows, if you can come on my Guido show, you can come on mine. Open door. I love you, and I hope you have a very happy holiday season.
Yeah, absolutely. Same to you. I know it'll be tough with, again, like you're saying, not a lot of family there. It definitely is tough for you, but I hope you still have a great holiday as well.
Well, thank you. And go ahead, Speedy. Give it to him. And remember, this is for the end of the year, so yep. I'm going to take this off now.
Thanks for listening. Everyone who's out there, no matter what you're celebrating, no matter how you're celebrating, have a great holiday season. And one last time here in 2019, have a glorious night.
I think you just broke the headsets. Good job. Great job. I'm so glad I got you to do that. That's freaking awesome. But, yes, I kudos what he said. I don't care what you're celebrating. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. I hope everyone has a happy end of the 2019 season. I hope everyone has a happy whatever holiday you're celebrating. And I hope we get ready to kick 2020 in the ass. No other way to say it. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. See ya!
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.